Hi, everybody. Welcome to FNS Wrestling Podcast, episode 175. Yes, that's correct. We're back down in the basement to talk about another week of wrestling. We will always talk about AEW Dynamite, NXT, Impact Wrestling, although they spared me. And that can't be good when I feel like I'm spared, because how much am I enjoying watching it when they do a week like this
you're
where
like, okay, yeah,
I'm relieved? Like, that's not good. But anyways, what else do we do? Trivia. We do some news and rumors. We touch on main roster, not a whole lot. Definitely not our focus, but if you didn't see it or hear it, we did put out a full gear review. So if you're somebody that listens to this flagship show, as I call it, we did put out a full gear review.
For once.
On video and on audio, because motivated by what, Jack? Mostly
Deathmatch.
Right. The Texas death match between Swerve and Adam Page. We both loved it.
Absolutely ballistic.
As seems to be the consensus if you're a person not named Jim Cornette.
That's what I was going to say.
Yeah. I listened to like a 14-minute video of him ranting, like every second, every detail, everything about it. He absolutely hated it.
I don't know what's not to like. I mean, I can't say that because I do, but like to that extent, because like you can say it's not for you and I'd understand it,
Sure.
but like you can't say it's not amazing.
And for him, it's just he has this antiquated view of like, this is how wrestling was in the, I don't know, 60s, 70s, like when
even 80s,
when kayfabe was around. So to apply all of those same things to when everybody knows it's
kayfabe's all but dead, and that's not even a recent thing. I would argue that goes as far back as like the 2000s at most.
And so for me to insist on things being a certain way that was then doesn't make sense now.
How's that argument applied here?
And I also think he now leans into it because it's his brand, right? Is curmudgeon who wants wrestling to be in a little
How does
time
that
capsule.
kayfabe view apply in this scenario?
I can't remember all of his problems. Oh, one of the specifics he said was, if you're holding a staple gun in your hand, why wouldn't you just hit the guy with it? And that like irks him to no end.
Wait, what? Like hit instead of stapling?
He's like, you basically have brass knuckles on your hand. Why wouldn't you just hit him with it and knock him out?
That would hurt more than the staples.
Well, you could knock him out,
I guess. Like,
so that's what he's. But I'm like, who cares? Like,
okay, but if you want to
I'm not even.
But like the kayfabe argument could be like, they don't want to just win like that. That was the whole thing in the match, right?
Right,
They
to torture each other.
Right, they wanted to beat the crap out of each other. So then, in his kayfabe argument, I don't even think that works.
But even if you want to go, you're not wrong. For you to care that much about one little detail and to dwell on that,
crap on that.
I feel like that's the mindset of a person who doesn't want to enjoy it, right? You are coming into that not looking to enjoy it.
He was dead
and
set
you're
on
not
that already.
Right.
Yeah.
So, and again, it's his brand. That's why he can clip the little headline of him going off on it or whatever. And I watched it. So just because I think it's funny how it doesn't make me mad or anything. It's just like you are so out of touch with how things are and what people, the way they want to consume wrestling and what they want to consume. It is just funny.
It is
and
crazy,
so,
yeah, but...
and just how sure he is that it's right. Like that you have to do this. He hates Hangman Page for some reason.
That makes me sad. I absolutely love Hangman Page because he seems like a good guy and he's also amazing.
I enjoy him too.
Back to the point, that match was like a show elevating.
Yes.
Match, and pun intended, because speaking of elevating, there was also Will Ospreay.
Yeah.
In case you don't know, that's the name of his theme. It's Elevated. So
I did not know
went
that.
Over your head.
It did.
But
it definitely did.
Ospreay is here, pre-contract of sorts.
Yeah.
Because he's with New Japan until February.
And that you liked that match so much that you were the one requesting we get down here and record.
Yeah, I did rewatch it as well.
Has not happened.
And so with Ospreay, I think it's interesting because there's that 3-way at Wrestle Kingdom.
Yeah.
For whatever the new title is going to be, it says U.S. title, but obviously I think that's defunct, and there's going to be like a new title.
Yeah.
It's Ospreay, Moxley, and Finlay.
No.
And given Ospreay's on his way out and Moxley's not there a lot,
I wonder.
Telegraph. It kind of feels like David Finlay. I don't want to say. I mean, Ospreay could lose it in a month, maybe,
I guess,
or still. I mean, Moxley's had the U.S. title when he was in AEW, so I can't even say that. But it just seems likely that it's unfortunately Finlay. But that's a digression.
It was a digression. And what else is going on with us non-wrestling wise? Not too much. I don't know.
No.
I'm going to an indie show tonight. You are working, so I think your brother's going to go with me to GCW. Not that GCW.
Never that GCW.
Great Canadian Wrestling. It's going to be about 20 minutes from us, so I don't have to do anything else today after this. So, and then basketball with your brother. It's an hour and a half drive for him to play 2 games tomorrow.
Fine.
So Yeah, that'll be
and
interesting.
I'll be.
You got the house
in,
to yourself and working
I got
tomorrow?
an 8 hour, yeah.
Yo, you got an 8 hour. Oh, fun for you.
Yeah.
And you saw a movie and liked it. You can talk about that. Don't
Oh
spoil
yeah.
anything.
I just my friend on Monday randomly asked me if I wanted to see there's that new Hunger Games prequel that came out the week prior to this week.
Yeah, going into it, I
So
did not think that was something that you would go see.
no, the only time I ever watched Hunger Games was the original one in grade 9 because we read the book.
Right.
But so what's it, the Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes, I think. And I thought that was really good. Yeah, it was split into like 3 parts. It was like
You were saying.
but it was really good. Yeah, the third part of it's a little rushed, but I think generally it was really good. So I'm going back to the first one. So I finished the first movie the other day, and then now I'm like in the middle of the second one, and then I'll watch the last 2 over the rest of the weekend.
Yeah.
Or on Monday, and then by Tuesday I'm gonna go again, and I'll see that again because
You like going to movies.
yeah, I was slightly confused and
You go to movies multiple times, which is
sometimes
sometimes, yeah.
I went
that's
to
good.
No Way Home 3 times. So
Right.
but yeah, because like I was confused, but eventually you find your footing
Yeah.
when you're watching it. So then I'll go back knowing what I'm doing, and that'll
Exactly.
be
Yeah.
good. It was interesting. If I found myself in kind of a Logan Paul scenario, because the one that I told you, the main girl who plays Lucy Gray Baird,
Mhm.
she's it's Rachel Zegler, and she's so annoying in those interviews when she talks about Snow White. Like I hate her,
Yeah.
but she ended up being like really good in it. So it's like you don't want to like
Yep.
her,
When you don't want to like it, but
she's good. Yeah, and then everyone's on the internet, especially females, are loving the Tom Blythe guy.
I don't know who that is.
He's I think he's newish, but he's the
The
main guy.
heartthrob. The new
Yeah,
heartthrob.
you could say that. He gets a buzz cut and he looks exactly like Eminem. It's
I just
weird.
googled him.
Yeah. Anyways, yeah, he's popular, but yeah, it was nice.
Nice.
It was cool beans.
Something fun to do.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what else is there to discuss really, banter wise.
Um,
Oh, happy Thanksgiving to any American listeners.
all of our American.
I
listeners.
texted my buddy Bark and was like, "Happy Thanksgiving. We do ours early, and we don't like down there. It is a huge, huge deal.
Not this.
Not so much like it's a
Here
thing.
it's just like
It's a
turkey.
thing, and you generally get together with family, but it's like it's a big deal down there.
Well, yeah, because
Which
like
is
Survivor
cool.
Series used to be a Thanksgiving thing. Starcade used
Yep.
to be like, it's.
And I got
the
all
whole
the
thing.
turkey matches on Impact this week. That's basically all it was highlights of old turkey matches and one new match.
Didn't they
so.
call it a turkey bowl or something?
It's the Gravy Bowl Turkey Trot or something weird like that. But anyways,
I don't know. I remember seeing it. I forget what it was called though.
it was lots of fun. I don't know. You ready to talk about wrestling specific? Although we kind of already have been, but
A little bit.
get more specific about it in our first segment where we'll take a look at some of the week's wrestling news and rumors. All right, so ratings. I was just scouring the internet, couldn't figure out why there's no AEW ratings, but I think it's just because it's the Thanksgiving weekend, possibly. So I got nothing for them, but I do have NXT. So they averaged 622,000 viewers, down 11.5%, and earned a 0.19 in the key demographic, down 9.5. It is the lowest audience total for the show since August 29th. And I guess just as they've stopped featuring more prominent main roster people,
Right, because
it peaked with
Xylee
Lynch.
is not a draw.
I mean, they're still, yes, sending people down and mixing them in because there was
Alpha.
Right, Alpha Academy and Xylee this week, but it's not the same as Becky Lynch, basically.
Or Seth Rollins.
Or Seth Rollins. And I mean, Dom's always around, right? And a bit of Judgment Day or generally lurking somewhere. But yeah, I didn't.
Who else is a big draw? Oh, right. They don't have Dana Brooke anymore.
They do not. Released, unfortunately. She's too good. What do you have for news? I didn't think I don't have a ton, but
You're so good.
found some
We don't
things.
even want you anymore.
That's right. You make everyone else look so bad. That's all.
I mean, that's not even a lie.
That's true. She does.
Technically, that could be true.
I guess.
The first thing I got this week was Juice Robinson set to be out of action for a little while after
I think I've
suffering a
had
back
that too.
injury. I think reportedly might need surgery.
Yes.
Which that's sad because I mean I think we'll be sadder than most, but I love Juice Robinson.
We are quite enjoying him. Although hopefully he's the type of guy that he can be around in a non-wrestling capacity and still entertain.
Honestly, because what was it when Jay White came out with the guns? Like they did their cool entrance and whatever, but like Juice wasn't there. So
yeah,
honestly, if you just have Juice in their entrance every week, that would make the show better.
Just for his expressions and body language, and let him say a few
I don't even
things.
need to see him wrestle. He's just funny.
Depending, although back surgery, obviously,
that's true.
You're gonna be laid up for a while. So I had that too, and I found no timetable was given for recovery. Not expected to be, quote, an extremely drawn out absence. So
Barring
maybe
setbacks.
out for at least the rest of this year, right? Would be the thought.
That sucks though. Because Bullet Club Gold are awesome. They're probably my favorite
Yeah.
group going. So for any of them to be out it's a missing piece. But hopefully Juice is not out too long because he's hilarious.
Well, yeah, he is. We enjoy him. One of the
He's a
things.
gem.
Did you? I can't remember. Did we know and did you mention last week what the full entrants were for the Continental Classic? Because I have the groups. Did we talk about that yet?
No, but I have it in my Dynamite notes.
Oh, you do? Okay,
Yeah.
so I won't do it here. So then another injury, and it comes up on Dynamite, is MJF is apparently dealing with hip and shoulder injuries after Full Gear.
Yeah, so my friend actually texted me about that, and I didn't see it first, but then I found something about it, and then I was like, immediately...
Apparently the elbow drop...
That's what sprung up to
from the top to the floor when the table had already collapsed, right?
Yeah.
Is where he injured
It looked awesome. Hey, hats off to him for still doing that because it looked awesome, but clearly it came at a price.
And then you know how he took the top rope Uranagi from White?
Mm-hmm.
Apparently he hurt his shoulder doing that one. So not expected to miss TV time, obviously.
Those both look sweet though, so.
We did see him on Dynamite this week, so he's not missing TV, but non-wrestling capacity while he heals up.
Samoa Joe will protect him. It's okay.
That's right. He will. Yeah. While he heals up before World's End.
Mm-hmm. I saw BTE is reportedly dead.
I saw that too.
Taking time off, and BT's not expected to be on hiatus, but finished.
It's funny because we haven't talked about any of these, but I seem to have like details from the stories you have.
Yeah.
So yeah, I have that.
They haven't been on it in like a month.
That the sabbatical will likely result in them returning as heels as part of a heel stable. That Meltzer says they're looking to do a heel group with Brandon Cutler, who's the one I think that reported that they're on sabbatical and that BTE.
Why is Brandon Cutler reporting things? Isn't he close enough to them that he would just know?
Or he's like telling people, I guess. Reported
no, but
might
he's
be the wrong
like
word.
saying sources close to the Bucks. I'm like, aren't you a source close to the Bucks?
Yeah,
like,
right.
It's just kind of weird to me.
And
also, heel faction with Brandon Cutler doesn't exactly sound promising, unless he's like when they were in the Elite with Omega, he was like the cold person. That was kind of funny. Unless if he's just doing that again, then I'm okay with that.
So they're speculating that, or they're saying that someone has been talked about for the group, but involvement is not certain. Would you care to guess who that is? Not somebody.
Do you know?
Yeah, they have a name here.
Not Omega.
Somebody who, let me say it this way, wouldn't be no, because they're not currently with the company, because they weren't allowed to be.
Punk, Ziggler,
very closely related to that. When Punk was
Ace
there,
Steel?
who did he not want there?
Colt Cabana.
Yeah.
What? Why would you?
And why is that? Like, I don't. No offense, I've never enjoyed Colt Cabana.
I never loved him, but I don't mind him in small doses. And I liked that one time he came on Dynamite after Punk got suspended because that made me chuckle.
I just don't.
If they had brought back Colt Cabana right after Punk got fired, I would have enjoyed it because I think that would be really funny.
And I want to like him because I hate Punk, but Cabana just
that's
doesn't
the only
do
thing
it
I
for
like
me.
about him.
Doesn't do it for me.
No, and a serious heel thing is not. He's literally the opposite of that. I would put the Bucks like honestly, like you could put them in with Don Callis. I'm just saying.
You could
do that. I mean, I do like that it's like newer guys that are like that haven't gotten their shot yet, and I liked that. But I would be okay with the Bucks in there if you wanted to put them against Kenny.
Yeah,
like that would be okay with me. But or you could have Aussie Open as the tag team of that group, obviously.
I want Kenny singles only.
I do like Kenny
at this point.
I like the heel Elite though when they were like mega heels. 2021 Elite was peak form.
And the Bucks recently filed to trademark the term "killing the business" KTB Wrestling as well. So I don't know if that's like a faction name or what that's going to be.
It's in their theme song,
right?
And then also their book was
it's their brand.
It was in the book title or something like that. It's something like
that. Is all the news I have. So if you have anything else, it's all you.
2 teams listed on the Survivor Series program. I don't.
Sorry, what?
On this is a Survivor Series program, I guess, because like at the shop, I did see someone buy like Survivor Series
like an
program,
actual
like a book
physical.
Thing.
Yep, I got you.
Like you can get people signed.
Yep.
Apparently, like the official event program lists Gallus and Authors of Pain on the roster listing.
Really?
They could be TV bound soon.
That seems like a slip up in like publishing something too
That's
early.
why I'm wondering. I would like to see that because I'm wondering why they're in like some official thing. Like, I don't know, especially Authors of Pain. That's a little...
Maybe it's something like they were initially supposed to be up by then, and now they aren't, and they didn't change
like,
it.
I don't know. It's weird. I'm curious about that, but...
Yeah.
I guess that's...
It is curious.
I guess that's neat.
Yep.
And Dante Martin is reportedly nearing
Oh,
his
good.
return after his freak accident.
So then it's his
at
brother's
ROH.
turn to hurt himself again? Like, whose
Yeah.
turn is it?
They're like AOP because
It's poor
AOP
kids.
kept getting hurt,
Yeah.
and then like when they got their break with when they were with Messiah Rollins,
Yeah.
and then one of them got injured again, and they got released.
Oh, Dante's was the foot, right?
The Destroyer through the two tables.
Yeah, that was nasty.
The Mega Destroyer. Yeah,
That was gross.
him.
Yeah.
That was his Sid Vicious.
It was gross. His foot was on the wrong direction.
No. Then finally, Carlito's replaced by Dragon Lee against Santos Escobar on Survivor Series.
That's an upgrade,
ran
I feel
some
like.
Angle. Yeah, probably.
I'd prefer to watch that.
Probably, yeah.
And we will.
Storyline wise, I feel like it's not as good, but in ring wise, it's an upgrade.
What are the chances you enjoy a War Games match so much that we have to come down and record that review?
Maybe.
Maybe
the men's one. The women's one honestly seems really lame because it's like it's
damage control,
but like Asuka's in the damage control now. I don't understand why.
I saw that.
I don't get it.
Research.
I really don't get it. And then they're facing Charlotte, Becky, Bianca, and Shotzi, which good start. You have Shotzi in there.
Yeah.
Second of all, they're doing Can They Coexist with Charlotte and Becky.
Not to spoil my predictions, but my assumption immediately was that Shotzi's there to get pinned.
My assumption is that, not to spoil my pick, can they coexist? Yeah, I bet they can. So there's that. I have decent hopes for the men's War Games. I think it's pretty good.
Yeah, it should be.
I think like Judgment Day are awesome, and I'm really happy JD McDonough's in there because I love him. I wrote in my picks. My wishful thinking is that he gets the cover somehow, but he
heck,
won't.
man, even the Escobar match could be really good too, right? And the Intercontinental, what do we got there? Gunther and Miz.
Stark Ripley could be okay.
It could. I mean,
the men's War Games is pretty good though because you have Cody who's good.
Yep.
Jay's good. Love Rollins. Zayn's really good. Orton, we'll see. Orton's really I don't know here because he's been here gone forever.
Yeah.
McIntyre's good. Priest is good. Balor's good. Dom's fine. JD's good. So
you pointed out to me I'm older than Randy Orton today.
Yes, you're older than Randy Orton.
How old is he? 43. 43.
Yeah. You got a few on him.
Young man.
But yeah, so we'll preview Survivor Series later though.
We will.
That's just a little bit.
Makes up for the lack of impact this week. But anyways, is that it for news?
I'm sure will result in a ratings drop for us.
Absolutely. We have that big Impact Wrestling following. They're going to be raging about me not reviewing the matches that were old because I barely watched them. But
that's ageism. You're discriminating the old matches.
But I did find that there was an era that I was not aware of.
I thought
I'd watched most of
mid-2010s. Probably like
that what it was? That makes sense.
Because I think that was Six-Sided Ring, right? I think.
Because I was texting, Jack was at work, and I'm texting him, Garza was an Impact?
I don't know when I saw that, but I think it was like, because, sometimes on Instagram, they'll post like old matches like in the build up to something. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah. And Escobar was there under a mask as Phantasmo, I think it was.
Yeah, that's where he was El Hijo del Fantasma. And then Garza was there. I think he was Garza Jr.
And Laurel Van Ness, who I don't remember seeing there.
And then
and some other guy I'd never heard of.
But I think that was probably mid-2010s was when they went back to the Six-Sided Ring.
Yes.
And also that was probably before or close to the GFW debacle. So that's like probably I can't imagine you were watching during that.
No, I was not.
Because that was, I think we started watching, or at least you did, after GFW, because when we went in 2018, that was after all that nonsense. So they went back to Impact and Aries was there and whatever.
So there was a few people I remembered, so I was close and around that era, but definitely a chunk of them I was like, really? Huh. Anyways, I guess it's time to talk about some wrestling, and the first thing we do is get really in-depth about our favorite show every week, and that is AEW Dynamite. Okay, talk about Dynamite. You weirdo.
The first thing we have was the rules of the Continental Classic, the round robin tournament.
Yes.
For those who don't know, it's not single elimination. It's you not like one and you're out. It's like everyone faces everyone in their block. There's two groups.
Round robin.
Round robin. Everyone faces everyone, and whoever has the most points. I think you get.
It's like G1, a mini G1.
Mini G1. You get a semifinal for both blocks, and the winners of each group will face off at World's End. It's 3 points for a win, 1 point for a draw, 20-minute time limit. Everyone's banned from ringside. Something about repercussions there, blah, blah, blah. The Gold League, year 6, is Swerve Strickland.
Our boy.
Swerve Strickland, our boy, fresh off said death match. Jay Lethal, questionable choice, but solid in the ring. Roosh,
Love Roosh.
underrated, so that's a good one.
Underused for sure, I think.
Jay White, another one of my boys, fantastic. John Moxley, my forever guy, and Mark Briscoe.
Your ride or die, please. Can you?
Death ride or die.
Nice. And Briscoe.
And Mark Briscoe, who's another somewhat questionable choice for me, but I don't hate Mark Briscoe. He's solid.
And you have to have somebody to lose matches.
I just wish that
in each bracket,
pick
right?
more interesting people to lose. I don't know. No offense to him or Lethal, but they're not exactly. I don't know. Anyways, then we got the Blue League, which is those matches starting on Collision, so it feels like there's a Dynamite League and a Collision League.
Oh, so there is kind of, right? Like we'll be a bit out of the loop.
We'll watch some. I'm gonna at least watch some, like when they get to Danielson and Andrade.
Yeah, I will too.
Andrade,
certain
Claudio,
matchups, I'll find.
Danielson, Claudio.
Yeah.
There's 3 matches at least.
Yeah.
Which will all have to be different weeks, so maybe I'll watch every week. I don't know.
You never know. It's a smart plan then for them.
Blue League is Brody King, Daniel Garcia, Bryan Danielson, Andrade El Idolo, Eddie Kingston, and Claudio Castagnoli. Garcia and Brody King, the questionable choices there, but not horrible choices again. It's just like...
And I love to see them wrestle, so...
Yeah. And Eddie Kingston, like, the situation with his belts is confusing. So I think it's just now the winner gets this modern triple crown of the new Continental Championship, which is a new championship, and then the ROH title and the New Japan Strong title, which is a odd trio of belts there.
So they have to have, like... Do you think they're going to absorb the Ring of Honor title eventually? Because
I don't think so, because then that kind of kills the whole brand.
I don't understand what's going on with all these belts.
I think it's just like
they haven't explained it very well. Like,
I think it's like a J crown.
I guess.
Where it's just like this conglomerate of belts.
Too many belts.
I don't know. It's weird. I don't mind like if you have 2 belts because then you can hold both of them. But once you get 3 belts, now you got to wear one of them at all times.
That's your problem with it.
Like, I mean, would it look cool? Probably.
Yeah.
But like, you can only wear so many belts.
True.
I think the max you can wear is 4 because you have like you do the thing that MJF is doing or the Kurt Angle thing where you wear 2 and you hold 2.
Yeah.
But then what are you gonna do with your hands? The matches we have tonight for our Gold League, we have Swerve, Lethal, Switchblade, Roosh, and Mox Briscoe. Looking at TJR's review when I was looking for to borrow notes, he agrees with me. I would say Swerve or Switchblade to take this.
Here's my
Swerve is the front runner.
Concern. Aren't they above this already? I would argue Swerve Strickland is above this whole tournament already, and he shouldn't win it. Because I feel like the trajectory he's on specifically is beyond this tournament.
Yes, but I don't think his time in the main event is now just based on what's going on. Like, he's going to have to wait regardless. I think winning this for him would be a big thing that he, like a feather in his cap. And
for me, I'll feel like
that'd be a huge thing.
Less of a thing because he just beat Hangman Page in
3
like
belts.
A match of a lifetime.
3 belts.
3 belts that are like light years away from the main event scene.
Well, one of them's new, so that's arguable.
Yeah, but at the same time, I don't need him losing along the way either because that's not going to help him. So I'm kind of in this situation with a few people in this tournament.
I think Swerve should
I feel like Danielson, Swerve, and maybe Jay White are beyond this tournament.
Yeah, but
I don't know what to do about that.
Danielson, I think, is more than fine because he's not wanting
and he doesn't mind losing either.
He doesn't mind losing. B, he doesn't want to go to the main event anyway. He doesn't want the title. So, and I think like something like this because he wants to do the G1. Like the thing, this is something he wants to do, and like that makes more sense. I think Switchblade. I feel like it's kind of okay because he did have his crack at the main event. I think he is a main event guy. It's just now you're kind of on the downswing.
Yeah,
and I think this is something to keep him prominent, and maybe he wins and maybe he doesn't. I think Swerve. I think winning this whole thing would be good for him because that's like if he can't be in the main event because maybe he's not in the plans right now. It's you got Samoa Joe, whoever the devil is.
Should be.
He should be. Yeah,
that's what I'm saying.
I'm saying the time is maybe just not right because he would have to be factored. I mean, I would say you could put him against MJF easily, but
I guess my thing is Swerve will never be hotter than he is now. And I don't feel like winning this tournament is striking while the iron's hot. You know what I mean?
I think it could be. I
hope so. I hope you're right.
My dream is that he sweeps the whole thing. That's how you keep him hot. Because I think Swerve. Because you can't do the whole thing with. You can't have more than one person undefeated, right?
Yeah.
I feel like Swerve deserves that. You have him sweep the block and have him beat whoever in the finals, like Danielson, Andrade. I don't know, but like have him beat everybody and
I guess maybe my complaint is more the tournament doesn't feel that. It kind of feels like it came out of nowhere, and there's lots of cool people in it, but it doesn't feel super prestigious.
I feel like if we had a couple more bigger card guys, it might also help. Just because, like, no offense, but like that's what I'm saying with Lethal and Briscoe, even Roosh, and Garcia, Brody, and Castagnoli. Like those guys, like I like them all. Don't get me wrong, and I do agree with your point that like someone needs to lose, but for something to feel really big time, they're not exactly people I would put in here. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like Swerve, Switch, Mox, Danielson, and Eddie, maybe Andrade. Even Andrade, his star is not exactly high up right now, so it doesn't feel like an overly big thing. So I don't know. It depends on how they present it. I think so far, I think they started strong tonight.
Yeah, I do too. I think what would have helped me is if they started talking about this a long time ago, maybe even had qualifying matches, maybe even had segments and promos where people are talking about wanting to be in it and wanting to win it.
I would like now that you mentioned that, maybe like when the G1 was going on, they could have talked about like wanting, Danielson could have brought up wanting to do something like that. Like, because I know Danielson's wanted to do something like this, like he's wanted to be in the G1, and it made sense when they announced it, but it did come out of the blue kind of, and then they just announced most of the people on YouTube before the show
without anyone saying like I really want to be in it or whatever, right? So I don't know. I think they just could have sold this tournament to me better, and then I'd be more on board with Swerve.
It was like winning. Half people declaring for it too, because I think with Swerve and Switchblade, you can make the argument like Swerve just won a huge match, so he gets his way in here because he just beat Hangman Page twice, so that makes sense. Switchblade, yes, he lost, but he just came off like he nearly beat MJF, so I think that's decent. And then like Eddie Kingston and Mark Briscoe just declared for it. Danielson was just announced as the first guy. Andrade, like, and then what's the case for Brody King? He just lost a tag title ladder match, by the way.
He's a big guy.
Daniel Garcia, no offense to him. We like Danny Garcia, but he's an ex-Jazz guy who's been floating around with 2.0, Anna Jay, and Jake Hager. Like, you're going to put him in here?
Right.
And Claudio, I mean, he just beat Buddy Murphy, but who hasn't beaten Buddy Murphy? No offense.
Love Buddy Murphy.
I love Buddy Murphy, but like, and Lethal just lost to Eddie Kingston.
He did.
I digressed. Anyways.
Sorry, that was a long talk about that.
Tournament looks good. It's just there are some gripes with it, but I think they can pull off a good tournament if they book it right.
Yep.
So
the matches will be good, no doubt.
Matches will be good. I'm really pulling for Swerve to get a sweep here. And speaking of Swerve, he's kicking us off against Jay Lethal in a Gold League match.
Mm-hmm.
And no Nana, unfortunately. So Swerve's just like normal. I also noticed his tights are the ones he wore in the Mogul affiliate days. Pre-Embassy.
I think he might be my favorite wrestler in the world right now, Swerve.
He's up there for me. He's so good.
Always loved him, but in his current form, this is like peak, just mega
This
evil,
is his prime for sure.
Comic book villain is amazing.
Mm-hmm. He's found his stride for sure. I don't know why he would ever go back to WWE.
No.
There was a nice suicide dive from Lethal, and we actually had a hiccup watching this, if you remember.
What do you mean?
Watching Dynamite.
Oh, yeah. Did we ever? I don't know. Again, the new cable system we're on, I keep complaining about constantly. We recorded it and it would just play a black screen. And then we tried to find it through other means, and that was also not working. So we actually didn't watch Dynamite until last night, which was Friday night.
We watched all last night, so it's a little fresh in the mind.
And then I went back, and the same recording just worked for some reason. There was something good I was going to... Oh, but I will say, since I try to be fair, we do rip on our current cable right now, even though it's saving us like $60 a month. That's the bottom line. But we can record the pay-per-views.
We still have full gear, yeah.
So
with
on
Rogers,
the previous, you'd get it for like 48 hours.
You'd buy it like a pay-per-view, right?
And it
like
was gone.
Now we buy it and it's recorded.
I bought it, but I also recorded it. So I think...
So now I could still watch that match
anytime we want. So that's a cool feature.
So that was nice, yeah.
But anyway, sorry.
Because it was like, I think, it might have been Wednesday when I don't know. It was like Tuesday or Wednesday we saw it, and I was like, oh, it's still there.
Yeah.
Or like, I think I noticed when I was watching
stuff. It's there now.
So that's cool.
File that under irrelevant to anybody listening to this, but there you go. Fun fact.
Relevant to even anybody out of Canada, because is Bell American? I don't know.
No.
Rogers is for sure. Here.
Alexander Graham Bell, man, invented the telephone. Hence the company that you're now giving free advertising to.
Who's Rogers?
To the millions of people that love our show.
Yeah, get Bell if you want.
Millions plus or minus a few.
Roll through flatliner from Swerve. There was a nice diving elbow from Lethal for 2. Swerve had been targeting the knee the whole match, so he had this like interesting like stretch muffler.
Oh yeah,
aka Brock Lock. half crab hybrid submission that was really cool. But Lethal got a rope break, and then I thought the finish was cool. Swerve counted Lethal injection with a kick to the leg, like when Lethal was doing the handspring, he kicked like the inside of his leg, so that was cool. Then he followed with the house call, which never fails to just be on point. And Swerve Stomp pick up the win for Swerve. He's up 3 points in the tourney so far.
Really good opening match. It's a lethal paced match, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
He just always, it's never like breakneck speed, but it's steady and there's all kinds of good action. And Swerve's perfectly fine to work that style too. So
it's just a little weird. I think the only thing that was weird to me was the heel.
Yes, but here. It's easily explained by it's a tournament.
Yeah, no, that's the excuse there, right?
And I mean, obviously there was no doubt Swerve was winning here, but I still quite enjoyed this. Lethal matches are always around that, like, if you were to rate it to me, like 3.5-star match, pretty much.
For TV matches, he's always good, like quality,
agree.
Right? Like he's never gonna do much in AEW because I think he's in the latter stage of his career, and he's just like he's not the most interesting out of the ring, but
unfortunately,
it's a little condescending, but he really is a great hand. Like he's still in the ring, and here it was a really strong opener. I thought.
Me too.
Good start to the tournament as well. It's basically what we'll be looking at the whole tournament. It was just good in-ring action, not a lot of story other than the tournament, but it's not like it really needs to be. Swerve had some nice turning throughout though. I thought that hybrid submission he had was really cool.
Me too.
I don't think I've seen that before. Finish was well done too. It was somewhat short, but we got a 20-minute time limit on these, so it makes sense.
Yep. I think this one was like 13 minutes or something. Nice, good length
nice
for
steady
TV.
One.
Yeah.
Then we get Renee interviewing Orange Cassidy, Katsuyori Shibata, and Hook, no last name. Wheeler Yuta interrupts as Cassidy's going to announce something. He congratulates Cassidy on his win. He says it took 17 orange punches, a beach break, and an exposed turnbuckle. Something like that.
Fair.
Give or take a 10.
6, yeah. Half dozen, though.
Yeah. He taunts Hook and says Shibata walking around with his title makes him sick, even though it's been like, they literally said, I don't know if I'm remembering it right, on his nameplate, he said 236 days, so.
Oh, yeah?
It's been a while, Yuta.
It has.
And he wishes him luck on his title defense on ROH. I already forgot he's doing. Oh, Trent. Because he's pure.
No, he's on a run, so he's a top contender.
It's weird because he just challenged Christian for the TNT title the other week. So Trent's time, I guess.
It's his turn to not win anything.
Yeah, and Yuta says he'll take his title back. I thought it was solid. Yuta sounded pretty good. The orange punch comment made me chuckle, but it feels like they've already done him and Shibata a few times, so it's not overly interesting to me. Like, Shibata beat him for the title, and I feel like they already did the thing where Yuta was like, I want my title back.
It does feel familiar.
And now it's been, like, even longer, so it's like, why still?
And I assumed...
I thought he was feuding with Hook, too.
The vibe of this, I thought this was like a setting up a Rampage thing.
Yes, Shibata, Yuta on Rampage.
It is Rampage. Yeah. Oh, okay. I didn't pick up on that. Yuta has improved on the mic for sure.
They didn't announce that here, but I just knew already.
Oh, you did. If that's what it felt like without knowing.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Had that vibe of a match, I probably won't
just
see.
Like that's how they do. Yeah. I would like to watch that, but like I probably won't.
And I thought that this group on the screen is evidence that this company has too much gold. Because Cassidy and Hook and Shibata. One of them, I would argue, is like a above mid-card belt-worthy person, and then the other people, not
Cassidy?
so much. No, yeah, he is. And then Shibata and whatever. Right?
Hey, I like Shibata.
Me too, but...
I like Shibata. I would argue that one of them...
gold bearer for your company? I don't know.
Yeah.
If you have 20 belts, maybe.
It's okay, because Shibata's not always there, so it's
True.
Like he's like half...
He is good. I don't mean to.
I like Shibata.
Me too.
I do. And then I would argue that one of them sucks butt because his belt's not real.
Well, that too. So they even you don't have enough real belts. Now you got to have fake ones too?
Yeah, so I don't... Now that we mention it, why is this belt still here?
I don't know.
I liked it as... Because the whole thing with what in ECW was that wasn't Shane Douglas out or something? Taz brought because he's like the uncrowned champion.
Yeah,
they did that same thing with in 2020 when remember Moxley was out for a week because it was the pandemic, so I'm sure it was something like that. And Cage got the belt like that made sense, right? Remember when Cage was being pushed? That's weird.
That is weird.
Anyways, he got the belt. That makes sense.
Brian Cage,
not Christian. Brian Cage. Yeah, Christian gets the FTW title from Taz. Yeah, but like no, so Brian Cage got that made sense. And Team Taz, it was all cool and whatever. And then I kind of like when Ricky Starks had it because heel Ricky Starks, like the fake title thing kind of felt like something that would work for him. And now it's like Hook. It's like he has it because he's Taz's son, and It's just that belt, like,
And he doesn't lose unless it's a like team match.
Jack
basically.
Perry had it for no reason. Honestly, I wish Jack Perry
the
killed
devil.
it.
Can you refer to him as the devil?
I wish Jack Perry killed it, because now this belt, it's like nothing. I'm not saying it ever really meant something, but like now it's just like an eyesore.
And one of 20 in the company.
Yeah, and with all the real belts we have, do we really need an unsanctioned belt?
We definitely do not.
It doesn't even like look as cool as other belts because it's just circles. Anyways.
True. Anyways, another digression.
Then we hear from MJF and Adam Cole. Cole's on crutches. MJF's got a cane. It's a great day for leg
He
wounds.
looked like he was legit struggling to get in the ring.
MJF?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whether maybe he's just really good
At least he's got the kayfabe leg injury to kind of...
Yeah.
You know, there's that he can sell instead of putting on like the whatever real injuries he has.
Yeah.
He said he learned that Jay White is one of the best professional wrestlers in the world, but nobody is on the level of the devil. He said that he is the most successful title defenses of all time, the youngest of all time, longest reigning of all time. He said he's the best AEW World Champion of all time. And he said none of that's possible without his bro Chacha for life. And the fans were chanting Adam like Roger Strong.
Yeah.
Which was funny.
There was a sign with it spelled out like that too.
Yeah. Cole said it was great to be back in Chicago. It's also great they're still the ROH Tag Champs, thanks to a little help from Samoa Joe. He said he's not even close to walking yet, much less wrestling. That makes me sad. He said he'll work hard to come back 100%, be the best that he's ever been. He said it feels like the entire world's gunning for Max. He mentioned the devil and his goons. MJ said you don't have to worry about him. He's going to send him, or he said wherever the hell he sends him is going to feel like heaven. Devil mask guy appears on screen, chuckles or something. Chuckles and giggles, we'll say. And then it ended quickly. I don't think it was a giggle, but
and because you said ahead of time, people are saying it's Jungle Boy. I think I heard Jungle Boy in there. So I don't know if you hadn't said anything, maybe I never would have picked up on it. But I feel like there's something there. It doesn't mean that it is like it doesn't mean that they won't switch who it is or whatever. But like, I don't know, man. You planted that seed in my brain, so I can't tell if I actually heard it or if I was just. But anyways, I thought I heard Jungle Boy in there.
I'll talk about it again after, but I really don't want it to be him because that just feels like a disappointment to me.
Depends how they do it. I don't know. Depends how they explain.
I don't care what they do. It wouldn't like come on. You can't. That wouldn't pale in comparison to Cole being like because the whole thing with Cole and MJF is who is going to turn on who.
Yes.
So it's revealed that Cole's the one who's been trying to cost him matches, taking out his allies. Like that would be crazy, especially if we had Kyle O'Reilly in the Kingdom.
Maybe that turn will come later and different and better. I don't know.
That would be disappointing.
I don't know. It's possible I didn't hear it, but it felt like maybe that is.
Samoa Joe made his entrance and came out to be with them, and he said that MJF should be celebrating 2 wins because he talked about them retaining the ROH tag titles, and the deal is that he gets a shot at his title. MJF said his breath smells like a skunk, and he had some thoughts on the deal, and he clearly said, blow me, but it was bleeped out.
Yeah, there's a lot of bleeping on this episode in Canada.
At least twice in this segment alone.
Yeah.
Joe grabbed him by the collar, and Cole showed saying he'll talk to MJF. He said the fans love MJF not because he's a great wrestler, but because he's changed and he's a man that makes things happen. He tells him to be a man of his word and honoring his deal. MJF says to Joe that he wouldn't be the first ROH legend that he beat in Chicago twice.
Yeah.
Ooh. MJF wanted an AEW title match tonight, and Joe said no to now because he knows MJF isn't healthy. He wants the fully healed Max to face him, so he has no excuses. He said that by World's End, he should be nice and chipper. And so then MJF summarized the whole thing. He said, World's End, Nassau Coliseum, and I'll be damned if this becomes my new Kia Forum, okay? I've had enough with the Kia Forum. You're not going to drill the Nassau Coliseum into my head, okay? No more. This is where I draw the line, all right? And it's in Long Island, which is MJF's home.
Boo, he got booed.
And MJF says he's got him a deal. Joe said MJF is his property now, and now whenever he sees him, he has his back until then. Nobody's going to touch him, and then he said he's going to strangle him and take the title in front of his family, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah, Joe was my favorite part of this. I like because he's going back to... There's something else he said weeks ago about MJF and the internet. So in this one, when he goes like, Because I know you'll just get on the internet and start saying how you were hurt and blah, blah, blah when I beat you. And I don't want that. So I'm going to protect you. So, I mean, regular listeners of this show probably know I'm immediately going to go, this segment was too long. Because I'm not a big fan of ultra lengthy segments. And that's not to say everybody did their job really well. It's just I don't ever think you need to go this long. I guess I'm learning I'm more of like I would be like, take 2-3 minutes off this and add it to the matches, right? And give me a little more of the good matches in the tournament. But I really like Joe's part in this. I think he's fantastic. I wish there was a chance he'd beat MJF because I'm not loving this reign. Like MJF's having awesome matches and all of that, but I don't know. He doesn't. Something about some of the storylines he's in don't feel championship to me. So
no, some of them don't. I think the thing with Blow Club Gold is really nice, and then Acclaim kind of brought it down just because like the devil thing does feel big to me. It's just it'll depend on how
it works out. So
another thing is, no offense to Jack Perry, but I don't see him as a main title guy.
Buddy, he's a pillar. Have you forgotten?
Who are the pillars again? It's them,
Darby.
Guevara, and Darby. No offense. Jack Perry might be the least of them. And maybe I'm just being harsh because I don't want it to be him.
MJF for sure is. Is any of the other ones?
Darby
Darby,
Allin,
I would argue.
Darby absolutely deserves to be. Guevara?
I don't know anymore. You need to put those two on opposite corners.
Yeah, so
for the most support.
Yeah. Guevara and Jack Perry are questionable at this stage.
Still possible, but it has...
They only got in a world title program because it was the 4 pillars.
MJF, it's happened. Darby Allin, you could argue it's almost happened. Or
I would say Darby's a pillar with title or no title because he's just like, I don't know. He is fantastic.
And the other two, we'll see.
The other two, yeah, I don't know. Maybe with the devil thing, I don't know. But
I just thought MJF, there's too much of him pandering at the beginning. They could have trimmed this down a little and I would have liked it more. But not that it was bad.
I think part of the thing that's not working his reign is not even his fault because, again, Cole being out really...
I think so. Changed
really
the direction.
Cut this at the knees big time. Because
unless it's all a work.
I would love that.
I was telling you, he super kicks him with the boot on.
That would be incredible.
Takes it off and starts walking around.
That would be actually crazy. That would be incredible acting if he's been not hurt this whole time.
Mm-hmm.
That'd be crazy.
And Britt was involved tweeting and sending out x-rays and stuff.
That would be like the work of the century.
Right?
It would be crazy. I mean, I would love that. But no, because I feel like MJF's reign because like I don't think the babyface thing is the issue. I think it's just that like the Cole being here. I think Cole being here in this one helped because I like their dynamic a lot more than just babyface MJF because there's always the disconnect for me because he's an all-time villain, right?
And maybe with it like Cole MJF being suddenly cut short, sent them in multiple directions to try and figure something out.
I think they're kind of scatterbrained, right? Like, because I think when MJF and Cole started, it was going really strong, and I think it kind of just, and now it's just I don't even know. But yeah, I think his reign, it's still good for me, but
the matches have been great. I've really liked every one.
But yeah, I think this Joe story is a good one though, so that'll help get things back on track because it definitely feels main event to me, and Joe's definitely deserving. I thought this was pretty good. I'm glad they got Cole for this because, like I said, I think MJF, his babyface shtick is just so much better with Cole around. It's a better balance.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I was trying to say.
I think so.
I like when because he decided not to honor the deal, and that's something he always does, right? Like he'll always be like, no, he'll bulk at defending the title, and then Cole talked him into doing the right thing because that fell in line with the story that they were telling.
Yes.
Before Cole was taken out, like
that
this
Cole's
feels
making MJF a better person,
right? Not just
having
MJF,
an actual friend is making him a better person,
right? Not just MJF being the people scumbag and painting in the crowd in matches
right.
just cause
he's
like
actually
I feel like
improving and
Cole
growing.
Changing him. Yes, that's the story they were telling. So that helped me because I am of the opinion like you are that babyface MJF's weird, but I think with Cole being the driving force behind it, it works
You're right.
a lot
it
better.
Helps.
Because then it makes sense. There's a reason for him because he's become friends with Adam Cole. He's better for Adam, right? So that makes a lot more sense. And I think if we can get Cole in more segments like this, as provided it's not too long,
thank you.
I think then that would help things a lot because if they can get Cole, I know obviously with the injury being really bad, it's not always the smartest to have him on the road all the time.
Mm-hmm.
But if we can get him here and there, I think it would really help things because, like I said, MJF, it's a missing piece of this, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's a necessary balance to MJF. And like you said, I thought Joe was really great. Looking forward to him covering MJF in the coming weeks. That'll be a fun story to have going on. I feel like if you have the Devil Goons trying to attack him or something, and
hey
you
man,
can have Joe
if I have to choose
protecting
one
him.
person to protect me on that roster,
It might
Joe's
be Samoa
pretty
Joe.
top of the
might have
list.
to be Samoa Joe. Yeah. I like the angle he has. It's really interesting and it's logical, right? I really like the way Joe's going about this whole thing, and I think he's doing really great. Honestly, you would not be able to tell he's definitely on the downswing of his career. Like he's past his prime, but in the ring and on the mic, you wouldn't know it because he's still fantastic.
And it's a tough kind of heel spot he's in because most times a heel wants to take advantage of a weakened opponent, blah blah blah. But Joe's found a way to make me believe because Joe,
to make it like menacing too.
Right?
He's like. Because I don't know, Joe's just always menacing.
I'm going to beat you so badly, and I'm so confident that I don't want you, little internet nerd, to get on there and tell all your...
I'll beat your ass at peak
give
form.
all your followers an excuse, because that's not what Joe's going to do, right? So, yeah, I really like it.
That, yeah. Devil Laugh has people thinking Jack Perry, not a fan, but it's possible. I just think if it's not cool, it's a missed opportunity.
Yep.
And it's money on the table, as they say. Mm-hmm. Next, we get a, quote, big trios match, which is Orange Cassidy, Hook, and Katsuyori Shibata versus X-Jazz.
Hook is who? That's my first.
The Cold-Hearted Handsome Devil.
Oh my God, Excalibur. He has to shoehorn it in 2 or 3 times every time.
That's worse than Murhawk Monster.
It's. I don't need it. It's fine.
It's too many words.
Yes.
Danhausen's back.
It just doesn't ever feel like you would naturally say that in a sentence unless you feel like WWE. You have to get it in there.
Feels WWE.
Yeah.
And Danhausen is finally back, so that's nice.
That was the whole point of this, I guess, right?
I guess. Yeah, last thing he was doing was challenging for the tag titles to Orange Cassidy.
Mm-hmm.
That's still weird.
I'm not the biggest Danhausen fan.
No, I don't mind him in small doses, but I just didn't have to be a thing.
Right.
Rampage.
Yeah.
There's a nice swagger bomb from Hager on Hook for 2.
It was. He covered a lot of ground because at first I was like, has he realized that he's that far from the ropes? But he actually nailed it. It looked good.
Mm-hmm. That was nice. And it's still a swagger bomb.
I called it that too, just instinctively.
That's my instinct, yes. And also because I remember Jack Swagger was like kind of on the way out when I started watching, and I do remember seeing a lot of swagger bombs. So yeah, that's my thing. And he does his signature slam to Cassidy. There's still no name for that, but it's like that big slam move he always does.
Yes,
every
but we never know what it is.
That's the thing. I don't know what.
And if Excalibur's not going to tell us, we don't have it. No shot.
I don't know what the technical name would be. I don't know what he calls it. Whatever. Shibata got hot tag flurry, hit the hesitation dropkick in the corner to Hager. Danhausen got on the apron, puts Hager's old purple hat on, and Hager likes that hat, so he chases after him. He gets cursed, and a suicide dive from Cassidy. Cassidy had an orange punch, knock him off the apron. Hook had Parker in the red rum. Shibata had Menard in a sleeper. Parker taps. Babyfaces win.
Cool. Yeah. Harmless fun, I guess. Not really for me, right? This doesn't do much for me. Yeah. A few cool moves, nothing special overall. Mostly just a vehicle to get Danhausen back and have that group of babyfaces get a win, I guess, because even though they called this a huge match or whatever, like it's 2.0 in Hager, so
it's X-Jazz.
To use a phrase I hate, it was what it was.
Was indeed what it was. It was fine, I guess. Like you said, it felt thrown together probably mostly for Danhausen return. That's fine, I guess. I just didn't need it to be a whole thing, and it could have been on Rampage because it's like it can be a thing. It's just not like a main TV thing,
right?
You know?
Yep.
I don't know.
They kept it short. It's fine. Whatever.
Yeah, match is fine. Shibata was the highlight. Other than that, it wasn't much to know. The X-Jazz guys are basically unchanged and still together, and it's still weird and makes no sense.
They circle back around to it this episode, don't
why
they?
should I care? Yeah, no, not in a good way, though. I don't.
No.
It's whatever. Cole interview. He says he can't wait to get back, and he's proud of Max. Roddy comes in shouting his name, and he asks where Cole was on Friday. Cole tells him to shut up, and he says he isn't his best friend anymore, and Roddy sends to the kingdom as Cole leaves. He didn't mean that. I thought this was solid. I thought I got a nice chuckle. He was like shouting at him like he usually does, and then Cole's like, "I can hear you, dude." And then he's like, "Oh, hey, what's up?" That was really funny because he just says what's up normally as if it's just he wasn't acting out at all. Cole officially denounces him as his best friend. That's a notable development. So
that's what I was saying too. It's progress, right? Cole's gone from like supporting this guy to being annoyed by this guy to starting to think maybe he's taking advantage of him to being like done.
I do like how this started, yeah, because it started as Cole was just playing MJF and MJF was playing him. They became friends, but he was still like reassuring Roddy.
Yeah.
And Roddy just kind of kept missing him. You know, he was just always a little behind. And then we see Roddy's like, I guess we'll say mental decline as Cole and MJF become closer, and then like.
And then once he
now
gets
the dynamics completely shifted.
And then once he got a hold of Cole, because they were like missing, his timing was bad. And then when he finally got Cole, he like basically kept him captive in his house, right?
Right, there's that
Because he couldn't, because he's like can't let him get away, sort of thing. And so Cole's figured this out, and so that's fine. What do you think Roddy's facial expression at the end? I was trying to read into like, was it like he was like, "Uh-oh, I need to change tactics, like this is all calculated," or was it actually like he's disappointed? I can't really tell. And not that I think it was supposed to be ambiguous, right?
Roddy's the devil,
right? Like, I don't know. So this is the most entertaining character Roddy's ever been, I would suggest. So
I would agree, yeah.
But yeah, this made sense
funny,
to me.
yeah. Yeah, I enjoyed it for sure. Then we hear from Christian Cage, the Father of the Year.
Another
perhaps.
Pretty lengthy promo, but I enjoyed this.
I
one
did
more.
enjoy it too.
Me
I
too.
will say that I enjoy it. I mean, even the part I don't enjoy is like a minor thing, and I think you know what I'm talking about.
You just put Christian Cage out there ripping on people for as long as you want, and because if the people he's cutting promos on are comfortable with like personal stuff being thrown in, then I will listen infinitely.
Not to spoil our end of the year, but for my honorary awards, I'm gonna give him Father of the Year.
He is
right in front of you.
Yeah. Wow, that's hurtful.
Are you gonna die? He's not the Father of the Year. Are you really gonna tell him he's not Father of the Year?
No, I'm not.
Look at him. He's got his beautiful son.
Sick kill switch on me.
Oh my god, I'm gonna hate that so much. The announcers were really struggling with that. Well,
I bet
it was funny because they kept like going like kill switch, Luchasaurus, or whatever you want to call him, something like that. Christian was talking about how their match of Full Gear didn't go their way. He said he did not lose that match. Nick Wayne did not lose that match. Luchasaurus lost that match.
Even just how like awful he is to Luchasaurus and then nice to Nick Wayne makes me laugh.
That
just
honestly. It was so good that it hurt me a little because I felt bad for Luchasaurus.
Honestly,
that's how good it was.
I know.
I legitimately felt bad for Luchasaurus. Right. It was so sad. I'll talk about it later, but I would almost argue this is like because they're going for a Batista Triple H angle. I feel like I would argue this is almost better than when they did it with Max and Wardlow.
Yeah,
because I actually care about Luchasaurus.
I know. Me too.
I did care about Wardlow back then, but that just feels so long ago. Christian said that was unacceptable to him. He said they're both his children, and it's time that he recreates them both in his image. So this is a rechristening or something.
Because he has this god complex, basically, right? I guess. I
Christian,
don't know.
What do you like? Wait, is he? Hold on, I need to see if character of the year. I should probably put him in there because I don't think he is in there. Best character. He's not. I will put him there right now.
Swerve in there?
No, but I'll do that as well.
You say you like wrestling.
I have Juice Robinson in there. I
don't think you watch it.
Because Juice Robinson's funny. Anyways, back to the thing. He told Luchasaurus to take a knee. Luchasaurus was kind of reluctant because it's humiliating, and Christian was like yelling at him like to take a knee, like really harsh. He said that the name Luchasaurus will forever be associated with being a loser, which was really harsh. And then he said he came up with the name of Strength, so it's like he's naming him Strength.
Right. His name is Strength.
Toughness and means certain victory, which never means defeat. That is what certain victory is. He called Luchasaurus his finisher, which I thought that was kind of funny because he's gonna name him Kill Switch.
Yeah,
which is his old finisher name.
That's
I guess it's still his finisher name. I feel like they've called it in AEW. I don't know. And then he spoke to Nick Wayne, who went down to a knee, and then Christian told him to get on his feet and told him to.
That was a nice touch.
And then he told him to never get on his knees for another person, as Luchasaurus is still kneeling. Like that was sad, man.
Basically saying like it's the most like.
It's the lowest thing you can do. It's humiliating.
Yeah.
As Luchasaurus is on his knee this whole time.
Yep.
Christian said Nick is the son he always wanted. He said that he's a golden boy. He's said multiple times Nick is a golden boy, as again, Luchasaurus is on a knee, rebranded as Kill Switch.
And also his son. His other son.
His other son, yes. Christian said that he will forever be known as the prodigy Nick Wayne. I also think a nice touch of this is that Luchasaurus is such a loser, he gets a complete rebrand, while Nick Wayne is still Nick Wayne, but he gets a complimenting nickname. So I think that's kind of a nice touch because, like, he could have changed his name too,
You're getting stripped of your name because you're such a loser.
And then
I'm adding
adding on this. That's a nice touch. Yeah. I like that. That led to Nick Wayne's mom, Shayna, coming down. She's the inferior Shayna in wrestling. Okay.
True.
Okay.
She took a good bump, though.
She did, yeah. Shayna Wayne is kind of a funny name.
Shayna Wayne?
Shayna Wayne.
Shania Twain.
Okay.
Good Canadian girl. Okay.
She comes down trying to talk to her son Nick, aka the Prodigy.
Did you know Canada at one point, when it was all the women singers, we had like Celine and Shania Twain and Alanis. So we had like all of
Morissette.
The genres were like dominated by.
We were covered.
We
covered our bases. Yeah.
Sorry.
Christian told Shannon she's a terrible mother. And he said that she couldn't provide for Nick and she was making $40,000 a year being a waitress.
Man.
He said that was embarrassing for Nick. He said she couldn't give him anything. He claimed it's a good thing that her husband was dead anyway, because Nick would have disowned his father since his father was never as good as him. He said she had to get the hell of his ring because she had to punch a card at Denny's.
Oh my god, he's so good.
Christian told her to go. Luchasaurus, aka Killswitch. Okay, we're going with Luchasaurus. Stood in front of Christian, kind of defiantly, and Christian told him to get back on his knees now. Like, he was yelling at him. He slapped him in the head. Yeah, fans were chanting Luchasaurus a lot, so it was getting.
Oh, it's working.
It was working, yeah. So I really like that. Yeah, the
is.
fans were into it. I really enjoyed that. And Christian said he told him to get on a knee, or else Christian would make him show the world why he wears that hideous mask. That was harsh. I actually thought it was funny when you were voice searching AEW.
Yeah,
they showed like the quote unquote cast, and I saw Luchasaurus without a mask there.
Ooh,
yeah, it's funny. I've also seen him without a mask in
Killswitch.
Okay.
I
saw him with a mask in 2013 NXT as well.
Oh, nice.
Christian shoved Luchasaurus, who backed into Shayna Wayne. She hit the ropes and took a decent bump. She was selling on the mat. Christian instructed Nick Wayne to get 2 chairs. Christian T's doing concerto. The announcer spoke about how they needed to stop.
That would have been amazing.
Yeah. Imagine.
Oh.
Christian got Luchasaurus to do it instead, and there's some heavy hesitation. Then Adam Copeland ran down, Edge, and he came in. Luchasaurus swung the chair at him half-heartedly, then dropped the chair and proceeded to take a boot from him. That was weird.
Here, let me help you kick me here.
Yeah, I guess.
Would it be easier if I dropped this chair for you?
Would you rather me not hold a weapon that could hurt
Got
you?
it.
Okay, I'm sorry. I'll drop it. Then he hit a spear to Wayne. Copeland one hit Edge with a steel chair, but Luchasaurus pulled him out of the ring, so still helping him out for now. Then he hit Wayne with the chair, and then an Impaler DDT and a concerto right in front of his mom, which was kind of cool.
Yeah.
I thought they made a nice point of like Edge is just focused on Christian, so he's not even like thinking about that Nick Wayne's mom was right there.
Right.
So I thought that was actually kind of cool. I thought it was actually
he had snapped, right, and that he's not.
I thought actually Edge did look cool here for once.
For once.
And he was just staring at Christian from distance while Shane was checking on Nicholas.
Yeah, man, this was an awesome pro wrestling segment. It's got very much to me $1 Million Man Virgil vibes, where he just humiliated him.
I was thinking Batista Triple H,
week after week after week, and the crowd is just building in anticipation of,
they were behind him already.
It's already starting, and I feel it.
I felt bad for Luchasaurus, and like
it's because Christian is so believable at like, and just his face,
unbearable.
The whole thing is amazing.
Christian's perfect,
and the like how distraught he looks while.
Oh yeah,
but he still does nothing.
His reaction when Nick Wayne is getting concerned, he's like, "That's my son. That's my son.
That's my boy. That's my child," or something.
Yeah,
but still not.
It was so funny because if it was Luchasaurus, he would have ran away already,
and not enough to do anything about it.
No,
even though
but
they
like,
would still have
he's acting
numbers.
like distraught. Yeah.
So yeah, I thought this was fantastic. Nick Wayne's mom did a good job. Like everybody. Christian's just so funny.
I thought even Edge was good here too.
Like, yes, this is a long segment, but when you A, make me laugh several times, and B, make me feel, I know this is all fake, and I feel bad for this giant man in a dinosaur mask.
A dinosaur, yeah.
Right? So you've made me feel bad for him, because they've been slowly building that Christian
There's been like signs of it,
but
right?
This
like he took his up. This was like the
next level.
Yeah, there's been signs of it, but this was like the first point of like he's full on.
Yeah, I love this.
Degrading him. Yeah, this was really good. Christian segments are always a treat. This was fantastic. It felt like a Batista kind of Triple H angle to me, or DiBiase Virgil, something in that vein, right? With Christian Luchasaurus, I think they did it really well here. This is a great start to that because I think the signs have been there with certain things, and they've had a couple miscommunication spots as well. So I think this was a good like first real starting point. This already gets me. I think it's better than Wardlow and MJF. I thought that was a good slow burn too. Like regardless of my current feelings on Wardlow, that was still a well done story because that was back when we did like Wardlow. But now I think this is almost better because I really did feel bad for Luchasaurus.
Mhm.
Like, because Christian is just so unbearable and he's just so brutal. It's really perfect. Because he's just being humiliated and berated constantly. And then that in tandem with Christian overly praising Nick Wayne right in front of him was just so brutal. Like, I was laughing and hurting at the same time.
No,
Just like,
don't ever get on your knees for anyone.
as Luchasaurus, he's like not only on his knee the whole time, but then like he's yelling at him to get back on his knees.
Mhm.
Like, that was pretty brutal. He's just so brutal. It's gonna be such a great moment when Luchasaurus turns on him. Like, it's awesome. Killswitch is a lame name, but I can't imagine it's sticking. And I like that Luchasaurus' reaction to that name was like one of immediate confusion. Then he looked kind of like sad about it too.
Mhm.
And then the crowd chanting Luchasaurus when he was almost standing up to Christian, that's proving that that works already because the crowd was like kept chanting Luchasaurus, and I really like that because that's already kind of showing that this is being like it's getting over, right? So
Mhm.
I really liked it. He torched Nick Wayne's mom, which was really awesome. Um, Everything after that was pretty solid. Edging Nick Wayne's chairs in front of his mom was actually kind of cool. So I thought Edge was even solid here as well. But this was really great all around. Christian is an absolute gem.
He is.
And I'm excited for Luchasaurus to turn on him because I do like him as the monster muscle for Christian, but they're telling a really good story here, and I really did feel bad for him.
Yep.
The poor guy. Then Renee interviews what we can only call ex Jazz.
Yeah, honestly, that was my Renee with former Jazz is
Yeah.
my notes. Yep.
And Jane at 3-way tonight. Hooray. And I was saying the devil just happens to show up on the show when Anna Jay comes back. For those who don't know, she's with Jack Perry.
Right.
So I don't know.
They travel together.
Exactly. Yeah. Jack Perry's
Package
just been
deal.
there the whole time. Menard says he has no idea what's going on. He mentions because there's like Parker with Soho, which
Where did that happen?
take a guess. You have one guess.
Rampage?
Yeah, there's your guess.
Thank you. Okay.
And Hager's questioning why Dan hasn't had his hat because that's what the Hager asks the hard hitting questions
That's
in his
right.
interviews.
But for him, like that's his character. It's kind of whatever. I don't mind
That's
that.
fine. It's just it's kind of goofy that this is still a thing.
Mhm.
Jay says, "Wait, how did Danhausen get that hat?" I guess that's
I
what
don't
he's
know.
asking. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know. Jay says she just wants to wrestle and she's tired of everything else. All the drama is fine. All the drama, and she says to focus on her. It's about her tonight. Blah 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 blah.
A.
You wanna go?
A. Do they think people care whether this group stays together or splits up?
I
Like
don't
them
know.
teasing dissension. Like okay, whatever. Could not
I
care
thought
less.
the dissension was when you left your leader, but
And also like the Parker Soho romance. Also could not care less. So
I genuinely don't care.
I didn't think Anna Jay sounded great. I didn't think she sounded terrible, and I don't care about either of these plot points. So fine, I guess.
Yeah, it was fine. I don't care whatsoever. It's Jazz minus Jericho, so it feels beneath anything worth caring about. Like, I didn't like Jazz, period, but at least with Jericho felt like something that at least earned TV time.
And now we have
Um,
no like, and that's why we call them former Jazz. We have been giving nothing else at why
That they
this
just-
group are together.
I don't
other
know why they
than
still stick together.
they
Yeah,
were before.
yeah. There's no hierarchy in this group either,
No.
which I feel like most of the time in a group you kind of have to have a hierarchy, even if it's like unofficial. Like the Judgment Day, there isn't really one, but like it's Ripley.
Yeah, it is.
argue.
I would say it's
So,
Ripley. Pretty
Like this,
convincing.
it's like their whole group was the Jericho Appreciation Society. Now it's what are you doing now?
Well, and it's all mid carders.
Yeah.
So it's hard to.
That's
care
what I'm saying.
Too
There's
much.
no hierarchy
No.
here. The Parker Soho thing is weird, but my excuse is I don't watch Rampage.
There.
And even if I did, I still don't care. Next we're back to the Continental Classic Gold League with fittingly Jay White versus Roosh. I was thinking I'm happy they put Jay White in the Gold League because imagine they didn't.
No.
That would be outrageous.
I love Roosh.
Pair of corner splashes in the basement dropkick to the back of the head from Roosh. That was really crisp, I thought. That was nice. Series of corner chops from White. Roosh turns around, does the same. Roosh runs for the Bull's horns. White covers up, so Roosh comes to a stop and then just kicks him in the face when his guard's down. Nice brainbuster from Roosh for 2. Roosh misses a diving senton. White hits a brainbuster of his own for 2. Chop exchange. White again with a really nice Uranagi. His Uranagi is just perfect.
It is nice.
Puts everyone else's to shame. It's like the spinning solo, but better.
Yes, it is.
Chops from White and then runs up Roosh, who hits an overhead belly to belly into the corner. After miscommunication where the ref is nearly hit, White hits a sneaky low blow and connects with the Blade Runner to bag a win. Jay White is up 3.
Yes, another good match in this tournament. I really like Roosh, so I wish he got more time on TV. It was nice to see him here. He's such a great heel and just like an arrogant, vicious heel. And even he pulled out the cord from under the ring, but they don't let him use it because that's like his signature. That's like Triple H's sledgehammer or whatever. Is that yellow? I think it is cord under the ring.
But it's weird because LFR in this weird like tweener state right now. I was saying to you, but
they need to be vicious heels because that's when they do best. And he pulls that off better than most people. Slight criticism of Jay White. I feel like I think because I think he can be like a main event top guy, I sometimes feel like he gives his opponents too much.
I definitely felt that way here, and I did. That's no diss to Roosh because
I'm a huge Roosh fan, obviously, and I feel the same.
But I definitely thought like he gave him a little much. And White's awesome,
and that he had to low blow to win. It's fine to have it competitive because Roosh is awesome. But
I think if it was more competitive, actually, I don't know. I would like to be more competitive. The low blow is fine because Bullet Club Gold are gonna cheat. Any way possible. They weren't here, so I think that makes sense. That I'm okay with. I just wish White would have hit more because I think he deserves to look like $1 million.
Especially with like what we've seen of the positioning of these two guys. White's coming off a highly competitive match for the main title,
and no offense to Roosh
barely exists.
Yeah, he's getting on TV because of the tournament. White would probably get on TV regardless, and White's on the up and up as far as main event potential.
So
whereas Roosh, like, I feel like White should have got more. No offense.
So out of context, really like the match itself, but with all the surrounding context, there was some things that annoy me, but another good TV match.
I thought it was quite good. I liked it. Maybe a little more than the opener. I'm not sure, but both good TV matches. Heavy hitter here, a lot of chops in this one, but both guys are really good. Turned out nice. I'm glad Roosh is in here because he gets some spot on him, which he could use. Although again, I wish Switchblade had more because he's my boy and
he is.
And he's main event potential.
The
finish was well done though. Keith Roosh is looking strong and gets my boy Switch a win, and it's in character for Switchblade, so that I'm okay with. But that was solid, yeah. And then we saw Starks and Bill attack Jericho after the media scrum, so that's fine, I guess.
And this is where my note says we're 90 minutes in, and I feel like it's gone really quickly.
Yeah.
Right to this point.
Good
stuff. My only thing on this beatdown of Jericho is like. And I think you probably agree, there's so many underused tag teams in AEW that I'm a little annoyed we're teaming up Omega and Jericho, especially because I really, really want Omega to be a single and immediately pushing these guys to the top of the tag division when there's so many good teams that don't get anything. If you're going to
do Omega in a tag team, at least give us the Golden Lovers.
Yeah.
Like, if you have to do that, why does that have to be Jericho?
Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of this.
Starks and Bill, like, I think they're pretty good, but they're not.
I don't even mind them as
they don't
champs.
Feel a heavy tag team to me though, just because like
we never see them.
A, we never see them. B, it's just they felt kind of thrown together.
Yeah.
But yeah, like the tag titles being only on Collision really bothers me because we never see them, and I get like.
And I love tag team.
It's partially on us for not watching the show, but like I think it's also partially on them because why would you keep them on one show when you don't have to?
Right.
They do a better job of splitting their roster than WWE does, and they have an official brand.
They have no mandate to do it. Right.
Yeah. AEW has no mandate to do it, yet they split their rosters better than WWE does.
It's very true.
And that's the fact of the matter.
I think that's irony.
I would say so.
I would say so.
And I like the tag titles deserve to be on the main show. Like I would argue Dynamite is the main show, and I don't know why they're not there. It's not like FTR have them as Punk's show.
I even like the idea of Starks and Bill because I love the small technical and the big monsters.
At least show me them. Then.
I know.
And like, why do they have to be on? I don't get why they say it on Collision. Is it like just like the 2-ring loops? Or like
it might be. That's quite possible.
Like,
do they do house shows in different? I don't know.
They haven't done house shows, I think, since the summer.
It'd be an explanation that they're on different paths. I don't know.
But like, still, then I don't know, man. It's just annoying. Or why can't you do things in the same like area in the same week? I don't know. Like, there's ways to do this.
I thought the beatdown looked fine though. It's just I would rather it's not.
Honestly, I half paid attention to this because it was really short.
Yeah.
Next we get Tony Storm's AEW Women's World Championship presentation. Renee and RJ City came out to a mic on the stage to present the title to the winner, like an award show.
Yeah, that was
kind
of funny.
And they announced it was Storm. Storm's like all surprised and elated as Luther escorts her from the front row up to the stage. I thought that was pretty funny. She claims she didn't have anything prepared as she pulls out glasses and a paper. She thanked Anthony Khan and the wonderful people at Warner Discovery. She said she thanked little Tony Storms who want to be her. She told them to stay in school and said thank you, and she called for a standing ovation. As someone who's been on the fence, I thought this was pretty amusing. I thought presenting it like an award show was pretty funny and like on brand, so I liked it. I like that she like acted surprised to win like an award, even though she like officially beat someone for it. So I enjoy this more than some of our other segments because this, I don't know, it It was more amusing.
I thought all the amusing parts were in that first little bit. I thought once she started speaking, there wasn't much
That was
left.
fine. It was basically just her in character spiel like usual, but I
Yeah.
thought this like the presentation of this and just I don't know, it was different, so I really liked it.
Outside of wanting two presenters, because that's common in these award things, I don't know why Renee would be part of this. Makes sense for RJ City because he's been in since the ground floor.
Yeah.
But like Renee
I think
to
it was
feed
just that,
into
yeah.
it is kind of
I think maybe just
weird
because
to
she's
me.
like an interviewer, and I guess it just makes sense for her to.
I didn't think this was awesome, but it's also going to be pretty hard for them to come up with stuff to fit this gimmick every week, I think. So full marks for trying.
I
And
like this. It was
the
like
first little bits were amusing.
a
I
title
agree.
celebration in like her character, so I thought it was funny.
Her being surprised it's her is funny.
that was pretty
right?
funny.
Like
yeah.
that's cool.
That was nice. I thought it was well done because it was like, I liked it. It was kind of like the Guns funeral for me.
And then the other woman is there.
Mariah May gave her, or she was there to present the title. Sorry,
Right.
Yeah. The Mickey James, we'll say.
Yeah, hopefully.
Next we have women's stuff that wasn't as good. Sky Blue, Anna Jay, Ruby Soho. Is that the combination I want? Hell no.
Hey, and we're coming off a women's triple threat that we did not think was going to be great, that we really, really liked. So there's always hope that this one is as good. So go ahead. Was it?
Mm-hmm.
So my first thing
it
says,
sure was.
Jack is annoyed at Saraya being there and the Outcast theme being used.
Yeah, I was hoping like honestly, I thought that they had just dissolved for some reason. I was hoping she would just come out to her Ruby Soho theme.
Yeah.
And I heard the Outcast theme hit in the Trons. I'm just like, oh, there's still a thing.
And the commentary quote of the night came in this match. Do you remember what it was from
No.
Taz? Taz says, quote, "These are grown men" at one point. I loved it.
Oh, what, the women?
Yeah, in the triple threat women's match. Called them grown men. It was awesome.
I mean, it's 2023, I guess.
Yeah.
But yeah, the Outcast team's still there, and Saraya is there, quote, looking like a ghost. You said.
Mm-hmm.
I thought she looked like
so pale.
She looks like one of the she looks the girl from the Ring,
Yeah.
or the mummy from the Tom Cruise movie.
Yeah.
The Mummy.
Yeah.
I don't know, something like that.
Could be.
Soho gets distracted flirting with Angela Parker. I feel stupid saying that. And she takes a double super kick from Jay and Blue, which looks decent. Parker holds Blue's foot to keep her on the apron, then she gets the Thigh of Doom.
Yep.
The patented Thigh of Doom. I guess we get that back this week. Decent pump kick from Jay to Soho. Blue pump kick Soho off the apron. Parker catches her.
A lot of kicks. A lot of pump kicks and kicks.
And flirting and stuff and
Yeah.
crap. Blue hits Jay with a super kick and a TKO for the win after she was distracted. And Soho was arguing with Saraya, and she was late to the save. This was something, I guess.
It was okay, I guess. I don't care about this love story embedded in this. Action was okay, but as always with Anna Jay, not to be mean, there seems to be some parts that were not ideal. And just like contrasting, I feel like Julia Hart has improved quite a bit. I'm not saying she's Bryan Danielson or anything yet, but she seems like noticeably a lot better, and she has a character. And Anna Jay, I feel like, has not. She basically feels the same to me as she always has. And that's like, yep, you have a great look, obviously, right? But the in-ring is just, and the mic work and everything else is just kind of feels like you're still really green when at this point you probably shouldn't be anymore. And I feel like Julia Hart has made strides and you haven't, kind of thing.
Yeah, for sure. Anna Jay's just as messy here as she always was. I don't know. She's not good. The Thigh of Doom is not something to be in your regular repertoire.
And yes, she has a boot that looks good, but so does everybody. Everybody's big boot looks pretty good. You know what I mean?
I've seen a million kicks that are better than hers. It was fine. It was very random to have these three in a triple threat. It started out a little messy, but they managed a couple decent spots. The story with the ex-Jazz people, in addition to whatever Soho and Parker have going on, feels super low card and uninteresting. They combined the remnants of two factions I never liked or cared about into one boring and pointless conglomerate. Keep it on Rampage.
And you knew Sky Blue was winning this. And what's the story with her, do you think? Where are they going with her? Is she
like
getting
different
evil
now? I don't know.
eye
She's got the
makeup
new
keeps
theme
changing.
and like the crown,
Right.
And, like her eye makeup. I don't know.
Me either. Because I don't think she's wrestling like a heel, is she?
I don't think anything's really changed in ring.
I agree. So I'm kind of
And
confused.
she didn't join.
Other than it feels like they're trying to focus on her for whatever reason.
She didn't join Julia Hart.
But I don't know what they're doing.
She didn't join
No.
Julia in the
That looked like
three-way.
where it was going.
Right, but then
That the mist is
Julia
making-
Hart pinned her.
Right. And it felt like supposed to be she's a minion of Julia Hart because of the misting, but
Which
sounds
is
silly.
already shaky logic.
Right.
Because we've covered the
I
many
don't
different
love
effects
saying
of
that
the
out
mist,
loud,
yeah.
but yeah.
But yeah, no, this was horrible. Some would say this whole entire match missed, but whatever. Next we get Wardlow interview. Yay. Renee asks why he's waiting. Wardlow says the world doesn't revolve around him. MJF and the Devil's Downfall will be on his time. Air Fox comes in saying Wardlow's putting the blame on everyone. Wardlow says he doesn't need advice. This is whatever. It's nothing new. Wardlow just looks dumb for sitting around.
You're in no hurry.
Disliked him more because Air Fox is gonna now die via powerbomb.
And let this guy that you hate just continue to build his legacy and argue that he's the greatest champion of all time while you just sit there and are like, meh.
While Samoa Joe, another person Wardlow's feuded with, mind you, gets a shot.
So I hate MJF more than anything, but I'm kind of not going to do anything about it for a while. Cool.
I hate this guy who kept me in his employ. I'm going to wait.
That's an interesting strategy. So he's just cold for me and you. I know that.
Virgil went away and he's just like, no, I'm going to wait.
We'll wait it out.
Ted, you know?
Yeah. So
he's ice cold now.
And maybe it's the fault of, like, again, stacking up so many storylines for MJF that they have to have somebody
I wouldn't
be like,
care either way.
I know, but it just seems a strange strategy or tactic to me to be like, I'm going to wait.
No, it's definitely a questionable strategy.
Yeah, so go ahead, Wardlow. You keep waiting.
You can
I'm
wait.
Fine. Wait it out, bud.
You
wait
can
infinitely.
Keep waiting, honestly. Wait till MJF's not the champion and he's injured. Like, then
Fine by me.
Yeah, do that, honestly. Go beat him up in his house off TV, preferably. You don't even need to televise it. I'll just believe that you did it.
Right.
Just something like that, you know? Then we get our main event, which is Mark Briscoe versus Jon Moxley. Once again, the Continental Classic Gold League. There's a nice running blockbuster from the apron from Briscoe, or neckbreaker if you want to call it that.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah, a really nice power driver from Mox for 2. He always sticks it. Mox went for a Larry, but Briscoe caught him with an exploder suplex for 2. Briscoe came off the top. Mox came with the boot to the gut paradigm shift. But then Briscoe kind of powered through and hit a basement dropkick, and they're both down.
We were already in overrun when that paradigm, so I bought that as the end, right? Because I think we were already like 2 minutes into overrun, so I thought that was the end for sure. It was not.
No. There's a froggy bow for a near fall. Mox countered out of a J drill and clobbered him with a lariat, which I thought looked pretty nice. It was a nice meaty one. And then Death Rider for a surprising near fall. Like, I was actually surprised Mark kicked out of that. Yeah, that was really surprising. Yeah. And then later on, we had a curb stomp and another Death Rider. Moxley picks up the win as expected, and he's up 3. And now all my boys are up. Switch, Swerve, and Moxley all get the W here. So
yeah, another a third good tournament match on this show. I thought the final few minutes were really good. And again, you know who's winning, but because they're just good performers in this tournament, right? It's pretty stacked. You're going to get an entertaining match, I think, throughout, and again, just giving it enough time. So 3 really good TV matches coming out of this tournament. It's a nice thread to have throughout a show because none of the matchups feel random. Instead of being like, why are these guys facing each other? It's such an easy backdrop to paint on.
It's a thread throughout the show, and yet also isn't. Because it's not like it's taking up any additional TV time. It's like, it's this thread in the show, but they're not, you know, it's not like MJF where you had to like have a bunch of segments. Can you do it? It's just like this kind of thread, but it's just 3 matches, and they've all share this common thing.
So overall, I guess, did you want to talk about the match specifically?
Yeah.
Sorry.
Another enjoyable turning match. I thought. I agreed. I really liked this one. This one was more hard hitting than the last, but it was to be expected with these two. I thought it did pick up towards the end as well, and like I said, with Mox's win, all my boys are up so far. They got the points on the board. This was strange for the fact that Mark bled and Moxley did not at all.
That was the wrong guy bled.
They shook hands and like kind of touched heads after, and the only blood on Moxley was Mark Briscoe's.
Crazy.
That is blasphemy. I thought it was good though. Mark had some solid stuff, and an upset would have been interesting, but you knew who would win, and that's okay.
Yep.
Mark kicking out of a Death Rider was a nice near fall. That definitely surprised me. He looks good having taken another Death Rider and curb stomp, so this is solid.
Yeah, it was. Overall, I really liked this show. None of the matches were like blow away 5-star. You have to see it, but there were 3 really good matches on this show. The Christian segment was amazing. Even the MJF segment that I'm saying was too long. It was a quality segment.
It was still pretty good, yeah.
The women's match was kind of a throwaway, right? But I'm actually going to go, I haven't done it in a while. I'm going A- for this show. I thought with 3 really good matches and an awesome segment with Christian, like at 90 minutes, I felt like it had flown by, and that's a really good sign for me. Nothing I really disliked, like obviously the Wardlow stuff, whatever, but the things I didn't like were really, really quick and didn't matter. And
they're more minor. Right?
The stuff that got a lot of time, I thought was really good. So I'm willing to go A-. I quite enjoyed it.
I was going to go B+, but you kind of like with Full Gear. I think you
Yeah.
kind of convinced me. Yeah, because well, I guess vice versa now.
Yeah,
for
you
those who didn't
convinced me to
listen.
bump it up.
I agree, because I'm just thinking about how much I enjoyed the Christian segment, because like I said, I felt bad for Luchasaurus, because that was really good stuff.
And honestly, that's a lot of times the difference for me, because the wrestling in AEW is always really good. It's right. It's the other stuff for me. And I love that segment, so that segment's really works good, for me.
Maybe that could make the yearly awards, because I think we need some more for.
I already added it on my list of random stuff I like. So when I really like something, I just throw it on the bottom of that
maybe I'll put in the nominations then. But yeah, so I think all the tournament matches delivered. I think this is what we're getting every week for the tournament. I think it's going to be a really fun thing to have every week, because I think when Dynamite has a really fun in-ring staple, that's when it's really at its best. Like when we had the best of 7 series, that was a really fun period. When we had Orange Cassidy,
forgot about that
title match. Me too. The last best of 7 series was at the beginning of the year. That's crazy, because that feels so long ago now.
Yep.
But like when we had Orange Cassidy's title run, that was a great period for Dynamite, and I hope we can go back to that, because I really think we should. But like having this every week, like 2 or 3 matches from this tournament every week, will be really awesome. And maybe we'll check out some on Collision as well. But specifically talking about Dynamite, I think they have a good group there, and it'll be really fun to have every week. But I really like the matches here. I thought all of them were really good.
They were.
For TV matches, that being. And then the trios match was whatever. The women's match was whatever. Harmless enough, we'll say. The Cole MJF segment was good. I thought Storm's segment was one of my preferred of hers.
You
so
like that, yeah.
I'll give that an up as well. And then I really enjoyed the Christian segment like you. I thought that was just really great storytelling there, and I think that's got a really good thing going forward. I think generally got good shows. I will up it to an A-. I think that's fair.
It's been a while since we've had an A-range show, so I'm really happy to report that.
Hopefully this tournament gets Dynamite, on a good track.
Yep. All right, so we'll switch gears into shift gears, I guess is the more accurate term, into some wrestling trivia in a segment that we like to call Off the Top of His Head. All right, so we're going back to more audio and themes. So this one came up as the worst themes. So we'll see if you agree with that or not. I'm hoping.
Just in general, or is there an era to this?
I don't think there is an era, so some of them will be hard, but that's part of the point of this, to stump you. So I think you'll still get a bunch. I'll try and mix them in. So let's see the very first one, if you can hear it. If there's not going to be an ad, which there is. Every time, never fails. First one.
You gotta have the tabs open.
You know how long that would take me?
This one definitely feels older. I don't think that's overly bad. Feels like a game show or something.
It was like a mentally challenged character.
Eugene?
Correct. Yeah, that was too good of it. I don't know if you'll get any of these because they're pretty old. We'll try another one here. What does it sound like? Like some kind of motivational speaker, lifestyle coach?
Simon Dean?
Correct. Very good. I don't think you'll know this one either. I'm just stumping you this whole week.
Nothing move but the money, yeah. I do what I want to, act how I want to, say what I want to, act who I want to, come to come. Do it big when it
less good.
Somewhat like controversial figure, came from Impact or TNA, I guess. Had a bit of a run, U.S. champion.
Orlando Jordan.
Correct.
What?
Yeah.
I think he went to TNA after.
Oh, did he?
I think so.
I can't remember the order.
I don't know why I thought of Orlando Jordan.
Old tag team. Ready? Old tag team. No. Involves Sunny.
Body Donnas?
Yes. This one I think will be funny because I'm pretty sure if I remember this theme, the entire theme is them saying the name of the team. If I remember correctly. It's old WCW. Oh, they took the words out, maybe? Do you know a tag team that Buff Bagwell was in?
Vicious and Delicious?
No. With Scotty Riggs?
Scott Norton.
No.
Hmm.
It was the American males. They were like,
Oh, like pre-Buff Bagwell.
yes. Oh, yeah. Here's one I'm thinking you might know. It's a famous one.
Sting.
Correct. That is Sting. That's a man called Sting.
Oh,
This one is
creative.
Here's one I'm sure you'll know. You know it already? What is it?
That's the best theme song ever.
What is it?
Sorry to censor.
Correct.
That's everyone's favorite theme song.
It is everyone's favorite. It's a classic, obviously. Just a siren
Yo, you
wailing.
dealing with the X Factor.
Any guesses? Oh my god.
I just want to listen to this for a second.
Oh, I know you hate X Factor, but you ain't gotta look at me like that. I said you ain't gotta look at
That sound.
That one's infamously
That
bad.
is of such an era. That like whole sound.
Yeah. Yo, you doing with the X Factor?
Who from? This is his
That one's
TNA
good, though.
TNA theme. Nope,
Oh, that's a good one.
that's Grammarly. I think it was. So this one is. He's been in other federations. Did you hear that?
Oh,
Cursing too.
Rob Van Dam.
Yeah, that's right. Did they play that with the cursing in TNA?
No way.
Highly unlikely. Here you go. Here's a classic. So many ads this week. Sorry, people. You don't understand how much work it would be to open all the tabs. You know that one, I'm sure. Who's that? Who could that be?
Well, I think multiple people have used this. I think Ernest the Cat Miller used it. Brodus
did,
Clay used it.
yeah.
And Xavier Woods used it.
Nice.
Once upon a time.
Oh, he did?
Yeah. Pre-New Day.
Let me show you what love is. Let me show you how to move your body. Move your body. Move body, body, body.
That one's definitely bad.
Diva era, I believe.
Oh, Oksana?
No. No. She was around for a while.
Sorry.
Not super long. No. Brunette,
Layla?
mostly. No. I don't think you'll ever get it. Candice Michelle.
Ha!
Right? How you gonna get that?
That was not at all what I was thinking. I was thinking like 2010s.
No. Here you go. I believe you remember this one. Sorry.
I do.
She didn't last long either time.
Eva Marie?
Correct.
That's what I thought it was.
Yeah,
It
Eva-
sounded so familiar. That one's okay, though, actually. Theme-wise.
All right. A couple more just for fun. Who should we go with here? I don't know who you're going to know. This one.
Style and grace, I'm never gonna be done. Lean on in. Now welcome to the queendom.
Where the King's Bad.
Oh, you know the words even. So that is
Steph.
correct.
That one's actually good.
Is it? Is it though?
I wouldn't listen to it, but
Here's a diva that you should be able to get.
But you can't touch. You keep dreaming on the stars above.
So who's that?
Nikki Bella.
Followed by a diva you'll never.
If you wanted to pick the bad one, Brie Bella's theme is way worse.
How about this one of a diva that you'll never get?
This is tonight. I know the time is
She came from the show, the competitive show, Diva Search, I believe.
Nydia?
No. Maybe I'm
Oh,
wrong.
Diva Search? Christy Hemme?
She was like a strong woman, kind of.
Oh, what's her name? Shaniqua?
No, Caitlyn. Do you remember
Oh.
Caitlyn?
I don't think she was from Diva Search. I think that
No?
was way earlier.
I could be wrong. Who knows? You're counting on my memory.
The beat kicks, then I start rocking. To the rhythm. Start rocking.
I don't remember this being his theme. Big powerhouse guy. If they're saying it's his fourth, or no, I don't know which theme it is. Mark Henry. You'll never get
I
that.
don't know. I didn't know he used that. I don't know his. I know his one theme. That's it.
If you get this one, I'll laugh. It's one of your favorite people. Not really. I'm joking.
Hockey.
I'm being sarcastic. Well, yeah, it's a hockey commercial, which is also your favorite. And it's going to run for like 8 more seconds. So you got to say something interesting while the commercial drifts away here.
I
So
have nothing
professional
interesting to
podcast
say.
here.
We're peak. Here.
We're hobbyists. You can tell. They're saying her name. Did you catch that? It's literally just her name over and over. Did you not hear it?
Tamina?
Yeah, that was Tamina.
That makes sense.
Yeah. I don't know if there's any other ones I want to hit here that you'll know. Why not? A really weird tag team.
That is a bad theme.
It
Billy
only suits one tag team. No. They were like 50s greasers.
Deuce and Domino?
Yeah. Anyways, I'm going to stop there because there's getting so many commercials and pop-ups.
That's Jimmy Snoop.
So I should pick an
Jimmy
area you
Snoop
know
is good.
better, obviously, because that was tough for you. Anything that's not current or in video games. But you did pretty well. Anyways.
Good at CFOS.
We'll CFOS. Like maybe there probably is a playlist of just CFOS themes.
Or not even CFOS, just like 2010s.
I'll try. I'll try that for you next week. So let's move into more wrestling talk, and that's looking at whatever we watched and liked and didn't like this week. And that is called Highspots and Restholds. All right, anything exciting from Raw this week? You're first.
I had one, and it's Cody Rhodes' complaint. So
Nice. I enjoy that.
at the end of Raw, they were like, so I think McIntyre beat Jay for the War Games advantage because the heels always get it.
Yep, they do.
And so then after the match, Cody was revealing Orton as the fifth man, even though like he wasn't there. So it's just to get the pop, I guess, and also so that's not Punk.
Yeah, I think
they killed the surprise. But also, all the nickname drops were way too on the nose. He was like, someone I have a legacy with.
So subtle.
And you may think we're prey, but we have an apex predator or something like that. It was really annoying. But there mini high spot. Shout out to Jay Uso because his reaction was he sold it perfectly because like they're all like happy and hyped and he's just kind of like, the bloodline took Orton out. In kayfabe, he's responsible for taking Orton out. We'll say right.
Okay.
So like because it was in the title unification match and the Usos took Orton out after with Roman.
Yeah.
So like he'll have issues with that after, kind of like how he has issues with Drew right now.
Yeah.
So I like that, like that little bit of continuity for Jay, which people have been picking up on. So I like that. Props to Jay, but Cody, whatever.
But yeah, we talked about it. I feel like it's partly they need to dispel any building rumors that it's CM Punk, and that if anyone buys tickets, assuming CM Punk's coming, they're gonna feel the wrath, right? So,
right.
Because I don't think it's so much they think Randy Orton's selling tickets. Because I don't think he does at this point. Like
I would
and
disagree.
Then we go, oh man, Randy Orton's back after a year. I'm going to buy Survivor Series now. Don't know. Maybe, I guess, but
well, I feel like at this point tickets are already sold, so it's not like he wouldn't sell tickets, but like
or pay-per-view buys or PLE buys or whatever.
I don't know if people who does that now.
Not me. All right, I've got from NXT this week. We immediately, I don't even think there was introductions or entrances, go into the Heritage Cup match, which is Noam Dar defending the cup against American Alpha, or no, what are they called now? Is that what they're called?
American
Academy.
Alpha was
a tag
not
team.
This NXT.
Right. So it's Chad Gable and his group are there. So the first round, pretty much as always, holds and counters. Gable starting to take control at the end with an ankle lock and then a waist lock. The bell rings. Round 2, Gable's in control for the first half, but then there's a series of Dar kicks, a cheap shot by Oro Mensah, and a quick Nova roller. Dar gets the first pinfall here in the second round. Round 3, guess what? We don't get picture-in-picture in Canada, so I only get the final 30 seconds of it. It's a Gable superplex for a near fall for each.
That's one of the main reasons I didn't watch, because like I think I was doing something else too.
Yeah, I texted you and you're like, no. Yeah, you get annoyed.
Like, I want the match. You know?
Miss the whole third round basically. So they get one
done was good.
One pinfall attempt each in that final segment, and then round 4 comes. The pace starts picking up here. Dar with strikes and kicks until he's caught and superplexed. I think it was like his leg gets trapped in it, and it's a suplex, not superplex. We get a Gable top rope headbutt for a near fall. Dar hits a nice draping flatliner on the floor, like draping off the apron. It looked really cool. Gable barely beats the 10 count after that, only to take Dar back elbow, the classic Dar back elbow for a near fall.
You gotta have one.
Sick knee to Gable's head as well for another near fall, and then a kneeling strike exchange as the bell rings in round 4. Round 5, a rolling kick and Chaos Theory gets an immediate fall for Gable to tie things up. Lash and Maxine are arguing, so then the ref misses Dar hitting a leaping punch after the bell. So this has been every Heritage Cup match. Noam Dar gets a strike or two something in after
preferably
the
an
bell.
elbow. But...
And I love it. So round 6 is the final round, and you kind of can sense where this match is going, because do you think they would actually have an established person on main roster lose clean to a person on NXT? No, no, no. So Dar's in control of this, but he keeps getting frustrated because he can't finish off Gable. Brainbuster from Gable, another Dar back elbow for 2. Dar gets his feet up on Gable's moonsault, but Gable grabs Dar's feet and applies the ankle lock that was kind of a cool counter to a counter sort of thing. Dar finally taps out, but it's just after the bell. So the rules are that Noam Dar retains the cup. A really good match, though. Another enjoyable Heritage Cup match, even with missing round 3. Dar is perfect for this division, and these matches, I would suggest they probably are kind of formulaic. Like, you're getting holds and counters, and then you're getting frantic pace in the last 2 matches, but I really enjoy it, so I don't really care if they're formulaic. They're enjoyable for me. It was the result I was expecting, again, because NXT don't beat main roster talent of any significance.
Not since 2019.
So the best you can hope for is a draw, basically, where he retains. And then there's stuff after the match with Lash and Otis continuing their flirtation. And I forget what happens, but Otis ends up catching Lash in like a dipping sort of situation.
Yeah, I saw that.
I don't know. Who cares? Then we have JBL, who gets to make the matches this week, right, for the Iron Survivor qualifiers.
God, who does he pick now?
He calls Josh Briggs one of the best big men in wrestling.
Oh, right.
So he makes it Carmelo Hayes, Josh Briggs versus Thea Hale and, don't help me, Blair Davenport. Why? I have such a mental block for her first name. It's crazy.
What do you usually call her?
Lindsay.
Oh, right.
Because I was an American tennis player in the 90s, I think. So then we get a segment that's the family, and they're celebrating, I guess, winning the titles, and they continue to feature the new woman in the group whose name I don't catch, and she speaks with the same sort of cartoonish accent she's putting on there. So Trick and Mello are backstage. Trick offers to help Mello and be his backup for Mello's match tonight against Briggs, but Mello doesn't want it. He wants to do it on his own. Trick understands, and I actually didn't pick up any animosity or anything in this segment this week, so I don't know. They're good for the moment, again, it appears, but Mello still doesn't want any backup, wants to do it on his own.
Which will pay off.
Trick's always like, I understand that.
I don't remember what the finish is now.
Lyra starts to make her entrance because she is defending against Xia Li, but Xia Li comes out on the ramp, kicks her in the head. Lyra's down. Can she wrestle is the question. I almost told you in the moment. Booker T said something that literally made me laugh, actually. Maybe
what was it?
First time in a long time. So when Lyra basically gets her head kicked off here on the ramp, and Booker just says she should have drank the tea from the tea ceremony last week, because then Xia Li wouldn't have been so angry, I guess, was the point. It was funny anyways. She should have drank the tea.
I guess.
Then we get Idris Anafe and Malik Blade taken on Humberto Carrillo and Hector Garza.
What? Angel Garza.
Sorry, Angel Garza. Wow, Hector Garza.
What?
Angel Garza.
What are you doing now?
So their match, like, they're doing the whole thing of, their match had to move up because Lyra's been taken to medical, and can she wrestle, et cetera, et cetera. She can, obviously.
Can she coexist?
Gory Bomb Cutter by the Cousins, I thought was a pretty cool move. The heels end up isolating Blade. We eventually get an Anafe hot tag. We get a pop-up kick to the midsection, and Garza and Carrillo win. That was their finishing move. An assisted kick to the gut. Anyways, the match was,
I guess,
nothing really special, mostly just a showcase for Garza and Carrillo, since they're the team getting the focus right now. I actually kind of like them. I didn't think this was the best showcase for them, but I did think Garza looks good. He looks really aggressive. I like them as a team. I always liked Garza.
He was decent in.
You always hated Carrillo for some reason.
Carrillo's so boring. He's a little better now, but I still don't love him. I did hate him.
Josh Briggs backstage, I think it was, with Henley and Jensen. He doesn't want either of them at ringside because this is his big moment. And again, there's some sort of tease of dissension in this little group, and it's kind of interesting they chose to have 2 segments pretty much in a row where people are refusing help. Baby faces are refusing support at ringside. So we do then get Mello and Briggs, and it's obviously Mello trying to use quickness and agility, and Briggs is really coming across as like the big, powerful guy in this one. He ragdolls Mello on the floor, throws him over the announce table, then a flurry of power moves once they're back in the ring. Mello finally strings together some offense, ending in a scissor kick for 2 that obviously Booker T was a big fan of, because that's his move. Big choke slam and a boot from Briggs that turns Mello inside out. Looked pretty good. Mello eventually sets up for the nothing but net, but Lexus King gets on the apron.
That's what it was.
Mello knocks him off, then Briggs hits a huge clothesline and a moonsault, ? Briggs pins Mello.
Yeah, I didn't love that.
So again, out of context, the match itself actually pretty good. Briggs looked really good, but it does nothing for Mello. Somehow this match was mostly about Josh Briggs, and like Briggs was dominating even without the
Kind of
interference.
like Roosh and White.
Yeah. Mello seems to be spinning off into a Lexus King angle, which I don't love because I haven't been impressed with Lexus King, and I think this is like a step backwards for Mello.
Yeah, he's fallen a little from getting the title.
So basically, he just got dominated and lost to a mid tag team wrestler, right? Mid card, not mid card tag team wrestler. Distraction
We
or
hate
not,
Josh Briggs.
regardless. So it seems like odd booking to me. Obviously, I was gonna say they want Mello out of the tournament, but don't they do like the everybody that lost gets a last chance
They
in?
typically do. I don't know if they did it last year or if they're going to, but they do typically do
Yeah.
that in like Money in the Bank and stuff.
So who knows? Then we've got Lyra insisting, I guess she's back with medical, insisting on having her match against Zaya go on, of course. And she says she owes Zaya a kick in the face. I made you watch this. Von Wagner goes to. Do you want to talk about that?
Not
Goes to
really.
Robert Stone's for dinner. And-
That was not good.
And so right away, I'm like, my first thing is, and wears a tank top. But they're aware of it. So Vaughn does, like, I bore my best tank top. His acting is.
He's bad.
His acting is terrible. Robert Stone's wife's acting is terrible. Stone is fine, but it's like
His kids
you
are.
asked it. Why are the kids better than
The
Von
kids are
Wagner?
my favorite part.
Yeah. So Vaughn brings brownies, but he ate a bunch of them on the way. Stone's wife and kids are there. They eat the pasta and sausage, the little sausages that Vaughn loves so much. Vaughn has poor table manners. The kids are gobbling down the food. The kids are complaining about getting bullied at school, and Vaughn basically asked for the kid's name, so he's going to go and beat up children, I guess. I don't know.
He's gonna table them.
So anyways, this was awful. My question, was it so awful that it circled
Almost.
back into entertaining?
Almost.
Because I laughed at this a couple times. It was so
I
stupid.
did laugh. It was almost bad enough. I
So
don't know.
poorly acted and cheesy and awful. But I felt like it knew it was.
It might be one of the worst things of the year.
It was pretty bad. Almost so bad it was funny. I don't know.
Almost.
Maybe.
Almost.
Wesley then has an in-ring promo talking about when he was champion, he felt like he belonged and had finally found himself, and the fans accepted him when he was the champion, and he wants that back, so he needs one more shot at Dominic Mysterio at Deadline. Dom comes out to the ramp, and I unfortunately agree more with the heel in this. He basically
Again.
is like, hey, Wesley, man, you're really good at getting these people to feel sorry for you, right? Which I think is true. Then he also is like, oh, by the way, so you want a title shot? Let's review. You lost to Ilya Dragunov. You lost to Carmelo Hayes. You left, came back, and lost to Corbin. And now you think you need a title shot. I'm like, oh, fair point. So he says now that Wes has to face 3 other former North American champions.
I saw it's Gargano, Reed.
Oh, they did.
And
They told us later.
Gargano,
Gargano, Reed, and
Grimes.
Yes.
Because like I forget because he was champion in between Mello's 2 reigns, so he was pretty like forgettable.
So if Wes can beat all 3, he gets a title shot. If he doesn't, then this is his last shot at the championship. Wesley
Wait, what?
accepts.
If he doesn't win, it's his last shot. So does he get a shot either way?
No, so sorry, then he can't have any further shots, I think
Okay.
is what I meant to say.
Okay.
So I thought Dominic outperformed Lee. I didn't think Lee sounded super comfortable, as is the case sometimes with Wesley. And I, again, agree with Dom, right? This guy doesn't deserve a title shot. But at least, like, clearly... Now, hold on. I was about to say clearly Wes has to win these matches, but NXT people don't beat legitimate. So how do we rectify this?
It's also one match, I think. It's a
Oh, is it
4-way.
only in one?
Yeah.
Oh, so he could pull that off, I guess? Because clearly they're going to give him another shot. Where else are they going with Dom? So he's going to have to beat established main roster people.
Although Grimes isn't exactly
That is
on the up
Grimes
and
takes
up
the
thing.
pin, I guess. Probably. Yeah.
I mean, it could be Gargano. I
Oh,
mean,
I thought it was
imagine
3
Gargano wins.
separate. I misunderstood.
I'm pretty sure it's a 4-way.
Okay, so that could be interesting then. That would make more sense. I
Pretty
guess
set-
I was hoping for like a month-long build.
That would I
Deadline
would argue
soon.
that makes more sense because then it's like a thing you can have going.
But deadline soon-ish? I don't even know.
I think it's beginning of December. You could probably pull out 3.
Yeah.
I don't know. Actually, I don't even know. I can't even say.
Everyone knows about the Andre Chase scandal except for people watching TV. Does this make sense?
Probably not.
I don't think so, and I get annoyed. So the investigation is continuing into this Horrible scandal. We get more cracks in Briggs and Jensen because Briggs is backstage talking to Tiffany Stratton. Jensen and Henley show up and wonder what Briggs and Stratton were talking about. It was actually fairly innocent. But again, we can see there's something going on. So Thea Hale and Blair Davenport had a 4-minute qualifying match. Davenport won because Thea Hale was looking out into the crowd.
Yeah, I saw that.
Wondering why she wasn't getting Chase U support. So does she have something to do with this scandal? Like, again,
I guess it's just a general Chase U apathy. I don't even know.
People know about it, but we're not allowed to know about it. The match was nothing special. Davenport gets the Iron Survivor positioning, and the Chase U scandal continues. I guess it just annoys me that the Chase U supporters know what's going on. Is there even
like a hint of it? Or
no? Yes, they're kind of hinting that it involves the family. They showed a couple,
like some maybe cheating.
They were sort of recapping the thing, and there was something that makes it feel like, yeah, they're involved. But I think they think they're building interest in this, but I just get aggravated. It's either nobody knows and we're all wondering, like, so there is a scandal or there's something in those pictures, fine. But how do dozens and dozens of people are annoyed enough to like boycott them?
Yeah.
And we don't know anything.
Right.
It doesn't make sense.
There's a bit of a disconnect.
There is. I told you there was a really good Corbin pre-recorded segment that I couldn't find. I was going to show you that as well. But it's basically him kind of putting over Dragunov and going like, this guy came over to America. He left his family. He left his wife and kids. He never sees them other than on a screen. He lives alone and he's all alone and stuff and blah, blah, blah. He made all this sacrifice to come.
And
the only thing that he loves that to comfort him at night basically is the title. And then he's like, boom, whereas me, I live in this huge mansion and I have all these cars and I have an amazing wife and kids and they're all here and I drink expensive liquor and smoke expensive cigars and I'm like living the life kind of thing. So I thought it was really funny. And again, he has no shot of winning, I don't think, but a really good promo here. He's really comfortable and believable as this prick sort of thing he's portraying. Nothing he said here was really off base either, right? Technically. And his words, because as soon as you bring his family into it, it's going to allow Dragunov to go to that.
He's going to go off the handle,
ultra intense level that only he can really do. So I thought that was really good. Dempsey and Thorpe had a boring 4-minute match. Thorpe won with a roll-up. The heels beat him down after the match. No one comes out to help Thorpe. I mean, you and I both like Dempsey, but
I do.
He's in like a enhancement talent stable.
It's been a while since he's been like.
There's nothing substantial for him to do. Like a 4-minute.
He did better in
match.
What was it? D Familia or whatever?
In UK, yeah.
Yeah.
Because his style's so cool and interesting. And Thorpe just continues to be a guy for me. I don't see much in him. And anything he's done since his arrival. That match with Kemp, the whatever it was fine.
And Raw Underground.
That was the best thing he did so far. Then we get the family get another stereotypical mobster segment where they're taking envelopes full of money from members of their organization. And the new woman whose name I should probably learn is there and prominently featured again. But then when Tony and Stax leave, Carrillo and Garza attack them in the parking lot. Help comes and Garza and Carrillo get in a car and drive off. And Tony yells that they can have their match if they want it. So let me just run this back for you. The baby faces in this are the heads of an organized crime family. And the heels in this are trying to honor their dead grandfather and win tag titles. Does that make sense? No, it sure doesn't. But anyways, it's true that Garza and Carrillo are wrestling as heels and are coming across as vicious. It's just, I don't know.
When you put it like that.
The family don't make sense to me. I like Stax actually more than Tony. But anyways, that's what we get. Ariana Grace continues to amuse me. This week, she's out complaining about Carmen Petrovich attacking her from behind. She struggles to find the beauty in Petrovich, even though she can find the beauty in everything. Complains about the stench in the arena, but she loves us all. So she's super inexperienced, I think, at this point, and she's already got a pretty good character. So I think it could only get better as she gets more experience. And not trying to be rude, AEW, but she already has more character development than almost every woman in AEW, right? And she's brand new.
More than Cheetah.
Only other thing, main event. I quite liked it, actually. It was Lyra Valkyria successfully defending, obviously, against Xia Li in a pretty good 10-minute match. Lee went for her knockout kick. Lyra came back with hers and then hit a Samoan driver, which I think is a more fitting finisher than just the spinning kick she's been doing. But I thought Xia Li looked better than she did when she left NXT. I can't say I've seen her on main roster at all since, maybe, unless she's been on a PLE. I probably haven't.
Xia Li?
Yeah.
No.
So I think I wish she would stay because I kind of like what she's doing here as just like a killer. Obviously,
Who
she
drinks
lost
tea?
here, but I thought she looked pretty good, and I liked the Samoan whatever driver as as Lyra's finisher. A solid main event, not amazing, but a good match. Only thing from Impact I have, because again, they lessened my workload by only having one match that was current and everything else was. So it's the Gravy Boat Turkey Shoot, if that's the right name. Random teams where you basically have whoever takes the pinfall wears the turkey suit. So you know it's a mid-card heel that's going to lose because the whole gimmick is the person really, really doesn't want to wear it. And then we get to point and laugh as they finally are forced to wear it. So it's the Good Hands, Champagne Singh, Jay Vidal versus PCO, Johnny Swinger, Jake Something, and my apologies to Mike Bailey being involved in this.
Whoa.
I know. PCO, whatever, I don't care. Anyone else, I don't care. 5 minutes, PCO choke slams Jay Vidal, hits a moonsault for the win. And Vidal looked terrified taking that moonsault because it's just like dead weight at this point, right? It looked pretty good, actually.
It's like just throwing a rock into the river and it just sinks down.
That's right. And surprise of all surprises, Jay Vidal does not want to wear the turkey suit, but Giselle Shaw and Savannah Evans sort of make him keep his word and put it on. Match does nothing for me. It doesn't even feel like it's canon, right? Because it's literally the only thing on this whole show.
It's not really. It's like, I don't know if he's not going to wear it next week. I don't know. It's weird.
But I will say, of all of this, I think Jay Vidal does a really good job in his role as like the flamboyant stylist or whatever he is for Giselle Shaw. Like he's super believable. So I think he's kind of a cool minor character. And maybe there's potential for him to do more. He never gets anything but squash, so I can't say like if he's really good in the ring or not. I don't think he's bad,
Right.
but I think his character work is pretty good for Impact. And that is all I have. Do you have anything from
The one thing
SmackDown?
I had from SmackDown was last, but I told you, Ridge Holland walks out on Butch
Yeah, you're
in
so
a
happy.
match against
You're
Pretty
so
Deadly.
hopeful.
I would have reversed it. I would have had Dunn walk out, but it finally appears like Pete Dunne could be on the horizon. And I was explicitly promised him by Triple H this year. So we still got enough time to turn Pete Dunne into Pete Dunne. Even if he has to babyface for a week, not for a week, for a bit, that's okay.
Yeah.
As long as he's Pete Dunne, you Pete Dunne him, then you turn him heel. Boom.
You wish.
Pete
Dream
Dunne.
on, kid.
It's happening.
It's happening.
The
I
Brawling
hope so.
Brutes are dissolving. It's gotta happen.
I'm fine with it happening, obviously.
It's
Love
gotta
Pete
happen.
Dunne.
It's inevitable.
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 Ace Austin.
No.
Who's inevitable in AEW now?
Samoa Joe.
Right. Okay, so that will bring us to, I guess we're going to do a little bit of a preview of a PLE that is happening tonight, and that is taking a look at WWE Survivor Series War Games. All right, let's preview this thing. I'm not coming in totally blind, but haven't thought about it a lot. I always seem to feel the need to clarify the amount of thought I put in. By the way, I did win Full Gear, right? I assume since you never
Probably.
went back to it, I probably won.
Probably.
I feel
I'm
like I
pretty
did.
sure. I think
We didn't include it in our video.
I definitely missed a couple notable ones.
Yeah, I think I did pretty well. Anyways, what about Survivor
Oh
Series?
yeah, we didn't include it. I think, when did I mention it? I don't think we were looking at it as we went.
Yeah.
As we were watching, but
We didn't tally it up.
no, we did not. Alrighty. First one we have is Dragon Lee versus Santos Escobar with the Carlito replacement.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to pick Escobar because he's fresh off a heel turn. They need to keep him strong. And while they have been giving Dragon Lee TV matches, but he's been being like Axiom and Cedric Alexander and maybe Grimes, I don't think they really care about NXT
I
people
agree.
more of the time. And I just think like you need to... Escobar can't be doing this big heel turn thing and then lose.
And I feel like Escobar was supposed to beat Carlito too, so I don't think they would change the booking just because it's Dragon Lee. And I think they're kind of happy with Dragon Lee being he has really good matches guy for now.
Yeah, maybe
right?
Carlito will be involved or he'll come back, but I still think
It's
Escobar
one of
should
those,
win.
like, based on their positioning on the shows right now, with
Yeah.
Escobar having a fresh sort of
Yeah.
story, it's
That's
for
what I
sure
was
him,
thinking,
I
yeah.
think, yeah.
Next we get Ripley versus Zoe Stark for the women's world title. I like Zoe a lot. I think she's good, but I don't think she's quite main title level yet because she needs more work out of the ring.
So tell me, what have
So,
they been, like, what is her,
She won a battle royal.
that's it? Is she affiliated with anyone?
No.
She's a babyface?
Yes, because
Okay.
she turned on Trish like a little while ago.
Okay,
remember?
right, and I remember that, there's been nothing since
She was
then.
in a 5-way at Saudi.
Okay, so I have hopes that this is a good match.
I just don't
because
think she's gonna beat
Agree.
Ripley. Ripley's still in a good run with the Judgment Day, so
I don't think there's any chance Zoe Stark wins.
no.
If she hasn't done anything of
Not
note,
really.
and Ripley is like
Mhm.
the focus of everything, so
Yeah.
it's Ripley.
Next we got Gunther versus The Miz for the Intercontinental title. I'm picking Gunther because Miz is fine and all, but he's far from his peak as a character.
Agree.
Back when he was the heel IC champion of 2016, 2017 fame, even 2018 if you want to go there. I think him being Gunther would be a huge disappointment.
Agree.
Sorry.
It has to be Gunther.
Yeah, and
It's
like
not time. And
Gunther's
that
on
Miz
an
isn't the
incredible
guy.
run. This would be a damn squib of an ending. Also saw in a couple more months Gunther could overtake Miz's combined days as champion.
Mhm.
So give him another record to break.
And at this point,
Miz doesn't need another run either. He's had 8 runs. A couple of them have been one day. And like that would be just like padding the resume like the Cena. Or,
and at
you know,
this
whatever.
point, whoever beats Gunther should be made, and Miz doesn't need it, and I don't think they
To
want to
me,
focus on
this
him
is
again.
kind of like Moxley and Cassidy,
Yeah.
where like Miz doesn't need it. Whereas I mean I like Moxley 1,000 times more,
Mhm.
but it's more so there's this long run where whoever's gonna win the title is a made man,
Mhm.
and Miz doesn't need that.
I heard Miz somewhere they were saying that Miz in his promo or whatever this week said something about he's reinvented himself so many times. Like, pardon?
No, not
He-
really.
No, he's been the
He
same thing.
reinvented himself once. He's
He did
probably
that
been the same
I'm a
since-
Hollywood whatever guy, but that was not
Then
that
he
much
was Miz more.
difference
He's
from.
probably last time he probably genuinely reinvented himself. Like Jericho, you could make that argument.
That's what he was trying to
for-
sound
for
like.
sure.
I
But
think.
like last time he probably really reinvented himself was maybe like 2010 or 2011.
Yeah,
He's been largely the same. He's been like babyface and heel, but he's been largely the same.
I think so.
Anyways, it's got to be Gunther. I don't
Agree.
know why it'd be Miz. He's been heel until like he won this title shot. Now it's like kind of weird because they're both kind of heel.
Hmm.
I don't know. Anyways, next we move to the women's War Games match, which is Becky Lynch, Shotzi, Charlotte Flair, and Bianca Belair versus Damage Control, which consists of
I have thoughts on this one.
everyone except Dakota Kai, which is Kyrie. She's back.
Mm-hmm.
Kyrie, Asuka. I don't know what I still
Io.
get it. Io and Bailey. So they're running the Can They Coexist storyline in this one with Charlotte and Becky, so that's already something to look forward to. Wink, wink. It's simple here. The babyfaces will overcome their differences, conquer the heel group. 4 to 5 dentists agree on something, and 9 times out of 10, the babyfaces win War Games. Most of the time, it's over a faction too. So,
Nice. I'm gonna take the heels here.
all right.
I would hope that this like reformed, sort of rebooted heel group is gonna be a group of mismatched. And yes, there's a couple huge stars, Lynch and Charlotte, in there, but Shotzi's in there to take this pin, I think, or to lose.
I mean,
I just I don't think you can say we're rebuilding this group and they're gonna lose their first.
I don't know
big
if
thing.
randomly adding Asuka is rebuilding. I feel like they could maybe even lose, and then
Or
you could start. You have
the Bayley
the
exile.
Japanese girls turn on Bailey.
think
Because
so.
I think the Joshi kind of group is coming.
But I just like to think that an actual group that they're trying to do
I'll
something with
get there.
won't lose to
I'll
a
get
group
there.
of randoms. So
I'll-
I'll take
I
the
will get
heels of
there.
that one.
Speaking of which, the men's War Games match.
Yeah.
Codith Rhodes, Seth Rollins, Sami Zayn, Jey Uso, and Randall Keith versus Drew McIntyre in the Judgment Day, which of course consists of Dom, Priest, Balor, and my boy JD McDonough.
Yep.
So I'm going to contradict this thing I said just now and agree with you in your logic on that match, because I said the babyfaces win most of the time, and that is true. However, at least in the men's War Games matches, there have been 2 times where the heels won. The first one in 2017 with the Undisputed Era, and last year with the Bloodline. I think the Judgment Day are going to do the same, because WWE views them.
You'll see why I'm laughing in a minute.
Okay, he views them as they view them as the new Bloodline.
Yeah.
And they're kind of on a run right now. They've got all the gold. I think WWE would want to keep them, put them over and keep them dominant. I think also the thing with Orton and Jay could probably play a factor, and that can be a storyline after. Hopefully McDonough doesn't take the pin.
He is.
No, I think they're winning.
So it's
'cause-
funny how you're contradicting your logic and I am doing the same thing, and I'm taking the random baby faces in this one because I don't think Randall Keith loses in his return. That's my
probably
main
it.
factor, and I think JD McDonough is exactly there to take that pin. He's Shotzi in this one.
JD
and he
McDonough
takes
is the
it
constant
here.
punching bag. I know. I didn't
I don't
think
think
about
Randall
Orton
Keith's losing.
overly. I don't think he would take the pin at least. But
No.
like, I didn't. I did kind of shoot myself in the foot with that, but we'll
It's
see.
funny how we both have this ironclad logic, and then we
And then
just throw
we
it
just
out.
reversed
in the
it in
second
both
one.
matches.
That was awesome.
I like that actually. That'll make for a fun little thing.
At least
yeah.
we disagree.
And then finally, CM Punk, yay or nay?
Nay. I was like, what? I thought there was 5 matches.
I just put that in there because Everyone's talking about like it's not happening. It's not happening.
It's not. But imagine for a moment it is, and it would be a super surprise because they did reveal it's Orton coming back. So everyone's probably like exhaled and been like, "Oh no, pump."
People are still like, "Ooh, what if he shows up?"
And then it's like he does, but no, he's not.
He's not in a million years.
I don't think they could stop themselves from somehow hinting or promoting it, because that, like, the exact thing I was saying about,
they said like, if the fan demand was strong enough, because like it's not Vince anymore, so they would actually
the exact thing I said about Orton, that he doesn't sell tickets. The opposite's true of Punk. As much as I don't want to say it, that will sell buys and tickets, right? So there's no way
that's a collision.
There's no way WWE would not use that if they could. That they're gonna leave money on the table, as you.
They
would
have
say,
like said like
to surprise
they've
us.
done like, I feel like people at least view it as teasing promos where they say best in the world, and they're like, ooh.
I don't think so. I'll say no.
I don't think so either.
But anyways, I think that's going to bring us to the end of 175. You've got to get ready and get to work. I've got to do my little production I do on this and get it out before I go to that indie show. So we'll finish there. Again, if anything amazing happens that we feel the need to rush down and talk about Survivor Series War Game, we will. But I think it's most likely it'll be squeezed into episode 176.
This is not going to be a full gear scenario. I
can't imagine.
I can say with near confidence.
If we find the time to come down and do a video, they seem to be doing well. So
yeah, that might be the only time. Hey, if this show sucks butt, I'll think about it.
Yeah.
Because what was the last one? Fastlane was horrible.
Yeah. So if we love it or hate it or just get time, we might come down. So just keep an eye out for that. We'll definitely be back next Saturday for episode 176. And until then, everybody, take care.